Welcome back to What Remains. This is session number 18, entitled Rule of Three. Last session, the group, basically the entire session was them just murdering people and saving a child, which was great. At the end of the conflict, they did the typical thing, started a short rest, and then proceeded to investigate the lair. They didn't find too much in the way of wares and what have you, but they did find a weird room which had markings in merfolk that were kind of warning markers. And when they went into that room anyways, there were strange jellyfish known as red eyes. They burned them, and they found a trio of sea hags in a very precarious position. They are currently unconscious. They are wearing slave crowns, which are conglomerate artifice that are utilized to place a permanent enchantment on the person who is wearing it, so that they are under the commands of whoever places the crown on their heads. Such was the case for the elves in the other chamber. When they died, when the person who had control of them died, the slave crowns caused the people who were wearing them to become unconscious as well, and it took some time to rouse them. That being said, well, that's where we left off, and everyone has kind of maneuvered into this chamber. The ritual on the ground, I don't believe, has been broken up yet, but it has been identified, and I believe it's been explained to everyone in the group that it appears to be some sort of fertility / speed up pregnancy / make sea hags give birth to unknown childrens. If you're trying to find the spot, I'll pull you over there.
Yeah, just pull me over.
Is
I don't know
okay,
where it
so
is. I wasn't
is
here.
Hezrod familiar with sea hags at all?
Yeah, so as we discussed, sea hags are kind of outsiders to merfolk society, similar to how hags are outcasts in kind of
Yeah.
land folk society. Um, and yeah, they typically operate more functionally. I believe this was figured out by someone in the group. So I'll allow that person to kind of elucidate further on what sea hags are and what they do.
Well, I have a follow-up question.
Okay.
Is does Hezrod know of any sort of like tales or urban legends or anything of that sort about people making monster babies with sea hags?
No.
So this is like completely new to him. Like
Correct.
he's never, yeah. And the spell or whatever, the ritual that's in place around them, that's currently inactive.
It is not. It has not been activated, but the magic circles have not been broken up either.
I gotcha.
Like it's still.
So it's like currently not in effect.
Right, but it could function. Whoever made the ritual has left it in a state where they could probably activate the process.
I think we determined through someone's spellcraft that we could easily we identified what each circle did, and that we could kind of just fuck it up and just terminate it.
If that's what you want to do, I mean, again, anyone can do that. That's not a problem.
I think as a group we will terminate these circles, so no magic and stuff can activate.
Okay,
that's just in case.
But what if we do that? Would these sea hags, like, I got a brain fart right here. So the circlets on their head, which controls them, would that mess with? If we destroy these circles, would that have any consequences at all with that?
As you're kind of bringing forward those worries, Golridir, you would note that the sea hags seem to be in the same kind of torporish state that the elf scouts were in after the master died. So your presumption is that they were knocked unconscious because of the severing of the tie, And that you'll need to basically go through the same rousing process that you did with the Winter Elf Scouts to basically awaken them. And
So
you
we
know,
could potentially separate them first before waking them.
yeah,
Yes.
based
probably a
on
good idea.
based on what you're looking at here, they'll probably remain asleep unless they're jostled very heavily or like kind of shaken awake. It took you kind of went with a more gentle approach with the Winter Elves. So you can do that here too as well. It took a little bit of time with the elves, but there were also a lot more of them too.
Right.
I say we tie them up.
They're already chained up. They're not
Yeah.
going anywhere.
Yeah,
Oh,
they're
okay.
chained.
Also, you'll note that the chains that are binding them are iron shackles. And I would allow Malika, Hezrod, Golridir to make Arcana checks, even if you're not trained regarding that.
Well, I already know what this means, but I'm not sure.
Well, if you already know what it means, then don't worry about it and just state it.
Fey beings do not like iron.
They do not like iron.
Also, I think that's a good point though from Alton, that if we do are the chains can they be, are they still going to be chained when we move them, or are the chains attached to the ground or the stone or whatever?
Good question. The chains are attached to the chairs or beds, basically the birthing seats that they're in. But if you're kind of asking that question aloud as Malika, and Alton's kind of doing the follow up, kind of looking at it, Alton would notice that the shackles on their wrists are bound all the way down, and the chains seem to interlink. So it's one chain link that goes inside of the chair, and you feel that if you unlock one, thread it out from underneath, you can reshackle it so that they're bound, but no longer to the chair.
Are we able to move the chair?
Chairs look like they're pretty solidly there.
Okay.
Now
I would state that to the group, saying, "Hey, we can remove the one shackle, thread it through, and then transport prisoner from point A to point B."
So, you said the chains interlink. So it's basically two chains form one chain.
No, it's one chain with two shackles, and it goes through the chair.
Oh, I got you.
Or the bed.
So, I mean, could I just
Bed
cut
chair.
the chain free? Cut the chain free from the chair, and it still keep the shackles connected.
If you cut,
We wouldn't want to do that. We'd have to remove one shackle, thread it through, and then use the shackle again on the sea hag after we move
I
it.
understand what you're saying.
We might
So
also
our best
wake
bet
them
here
up.
is our best bet here is probably to have Alton do
Here,
that.
question, Alton, is that something as they're talking about it and Hazard's talking about breaking stuff, would you just want to get it over with and do it?
Yeah.
You're trained in thieves' tools?
Wait. Before Alton can get close to a hag, Malik would say, before we do anything, if these things wake up, we got to make sure that they are gagged, because they will pop off a spell.
Good
immediately.
point.
So Malika has rope. She'll kind of cut off some pieces of rope, and will gag one and hand off two pieces to others to gag the other two.
The locks on these shackles are insanely, pathetically basic. So you don't need to roll, Alton. You literally go, and you just take one pick and just kind of just do it and then it's over. And you're able to, do exactly what we described. So the hag in question, we'll say the lead one, the one in the front, now has a gag in her mouth, and she is shackled in no longer to the chair. Okay. And you're able to do this without her seeming to have been roused at all. She still seems to be in
Okay.
I would say we move this one first and then start with the other two.
Yeah.
Since Hezrod is the strongest one, Hezrod, since you seem to be quite strong, a great swimmer, would you mind carrying this young lady over to another cave?
He's not exactly. What's what I'm looking for? Delicate.
Maybe Avram.
So he
would be better.
nods and he just kind of rolls her out of the chair and throws her over his shoulder.
Okay.
And Starts wading
Gentle.
through the water out of
Okay.
the room.
Yeah, even with your
Yeet.
regular, even with your land feet, you're able to kind of swim with the sea hag in tow. And just go ahead and move to a place where you think you want to go, and I'll go ahead and keep you there. Fiona
But
kind of
we'll go ahead and set her up over here.
Fiona
Do we
kind of
need to reshackle her to wherever we take her?
okay. Yeah, that's something you'll want to deal with when you get to the new location. But what I
So
will
I
say,
will follow Hezrod if you want to move me to wherever he went. I don't know where he went.
Alton,
so.
Alton, can you stay here and
well,
keep
that's I was
dealing with the chains?
I was gonna actually cover that. I was gonna say Fiona would say, well, I could stay here if you want. It's not a problem. I can watch them, and if they do wake up, I can move away from them pretty quickly without it being a problem.
That's a great voice for Fiona. I like it.
It is.
Did I do it right on it?
Yeah,
You
you
did.
did.
Yeah.
Oh, I was gonna actually just go, I can watch them in it, but I didn't do it because that's a different game.
Okay,
forgot-
Terry.
You forgot Govna.
Governor,
Oh yeah,
Governor.
Governor.
Cheerio,
G'day.
Governor.
Good day.
Tea and crumpets, oi bloody!
we
Jesus.
have British people in our community.
Oh, Alton has to remove the things. Right. Okay.
I have family in Britain, so
Whatever. Anyway,
I mean,
they
I
think
guess
it's hilarious.
most of us white people probably do.
yeah, that's fine. So you, Hezrod, move out there. Fiona says she'll watch the hags. Malika, are you heading after Hezrod to keep an eye on him?
No. I'm sticking with Fiona. I don't want these things to wake up and
Okay.
start with their fuckery.
Okay. And Avran, are you staying with Fiona or?
So it's just Alton and Hezrod with the.
Oh, Alton,
with the
did you
first
go with?
tag.
You went with Hezrod?
Yeah, I said just move me wherever Hezrod went. I don't know where he went, so.
All right,
Well,
so
Since the hags are fey beings, it might be best if Golridir speaks with this one.
So-
Does this boat out here have an anchor?
Yeah, it does.
Is it a substantial
It's
anchor?
decent. Maybe 300
would
pounds.
Okay, yeah, solid. Go ahead and shackle her up to that.
Maybe 400
Okay.
pounds.
Yeah, I'll shackle her up to the chain of the anchor or onto the anchor itself
Mhm.
if there's a loop.
Yeah. So at the
Everything.
top, just
Yep.
kind of, thread the needle once again. So, yeah. Okay. And Gordy, are you going out with Hezrod and Alton or staying here with the rest of the group?
Is the one that we're taking out there the one that we're going to be questioning, or
I
are
would
we
assume
questioning these
that's
ones?
what we're doing, yeah.
Okay.
Or should we just kill the other two and then just question this one?
No, because
No, let's
don't make
let's not do
enemies
that
unless
yet.
you have to.
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess I'll go out here then.
yeah, I'll go with them as well. I think Fiona and Malika could do the thing.
Okay.
Well, since the gang's all here,
Before y'all start into Guantanamo Baying the hag,
oh yeah, we're gonna waterboard a sea hag.
well, fireboard,
Fireboard, yeah.
iron board. I don't know.
Oh,
but,
Ironboard.
but the so I just want to
writing
make
that
it
down.
clear that these two sea hags here are now also gagged. Okay, that's all I want
Like,
to say.
open your mouth, and you just start force feeding them nails.
Or molten iron.
Oh my god.
We could just sprinkle some iron flakes like on her eyes and just be
You
like,
literally just
"Ha-ha!"
give them the ghost peppers.
Oh,
Yeah, right.
those aren't very high in iron, though.
This is
That's
some
true.
like anti-hag bigotry.
Yeah,
They're
right.
high on spice though.
Threaten her with spinach.
Do you want the rogue to interrogate?
Definitely like keep it like basically after Hezrod sets her down and we get her all tied up to the anchor and we're still waiting on her to wake up. Hezrod's not going to do much of the questioning. He doesn't really care about that kind of thing. So he just looks at Alton and he says, "Keep an eye on her."
Oh, I got
And then
you, buddy.
he's going to move over here and stick his head inside the giant hole he blew inside the ship. And then he walks inside and starts rummaging through everything that's inside.
Nothing.
Nothing?
Nothing.
Tra-la-la.
Disappointing.
Nothing.
No one.
No, it's I picked up what you're putting down, but that's
Yeah. So who's waking her up?
Does the
Um,
pearl glow at all?
No, the pearl's not magical. The pearl has no. There's nothing happening with the pearl.
Okay.
So do we need to
Lord,
ungag her,
you're-
or
The pearl's
No.
literally 30 pounds of dead weight. You're dorky ass is carrying her.
It's not.
It's
No, it's
literally
not
it.
dead weight.
I am-
Like it's
it's his
worth
baby.
gold.
It's his
Hold on.
child.
Me as the DM am
Worth
telling
gold.
you, it is worthless. But anyways,
Wait. It's not even worth any
it's
gold.
not worthless.
you'll see.
It's a whole ass pearl.
There's
You'll
a-
see. Anyways,
Okay, now I feel like there needs to be a warlock supervising this, so I'm gonna move Malik over here.
okay. Fiona,
Go
Why
on.
are the
Guardians
warlocks the
begins.
most responsible people in our party?
We can't just leave Fiona by herself.
not usually the case, is it?
Somebody
No, it's
else
not.
go hang out with Fiona then, because
One of our warlocks is like, I'm a dedicated scholar, and the other one's like, I raise children. And it's like,
well, birth them, yeah. But-
Birth
well,
them.
yeah, but help
So
deliver
sea
and like
hags-
care for them.
So Goradir's gonna start doing the thing and waking
Okay,
this
okay,
hack,
before-
this lady, this nice
before-
lady up.
Hezrod's gonna
This
stand
birthing-
behind
Hold
her.
on, one at a time,
Birthing
one at a
lady.
time, one at a time, one at a time.
Goldier, before you start waking anybody up, Alton, hold a knife up to the witch's throat. If
It's a
she
terrible
so
way to
much,
wake up.
she so much as begins to utter a curse, you sink that sucker right in.
Well, I don't know what she sounds like, so I don't know what a curse sounds like. But okay.
All right.
Got it?
This just sounds more and more like a bad idea.
Goradir, you wait.
She starts
Yeah.
talking. I just
Okay. So the
so are we ungagging her? Am I going up there?
No, she's gagged.
I know, but if she starts muttering, how are you going to talk to her with her gag?
No, we're gonna wake her up first and see
Yeah.
what happens.
Sure. So when she is roused, her eyes go wide, and her entire visage just becomes like a maleficent kind of like thing before you. All of you need to make a wisdom saving throw, and Alton, you specifically need to make a second wisdom saving throw after the first.
Add +4.
Nice.
Oh no.
Okay.
I
Oh.
slit her throat.
Okay.
Wait.
And the second one. Okay, so the first one. Got it.
Wisdom saves.
Yeah.
All right, so the first one is an 11 for him.
Yeah, I
and
know.
a
I see.
27.
Yeah.
Oh Jesus.
So, immediately upon it rousing and the form shifting, Malika, Alton, the two of you become frightened of the creature. The terror just sweeps you. And you'll be afraid of it for a minute. Alton, you feel like it is going to burrow its psyche into your brain and just destroy you internally. And you said something kind of as a jerk response, but is that something you're actually doing?
I have advantage on saving throws against being frightened.
The first one would have been the advantage versus the frightened. The second one's not frightened.
Okay.
Oh, 2 wisdom saving throws.
Not you, just him.
Oh.
Yeah, just
So-
Alton.
so-
Special.
What'd you just say, John?
What would be your
about
jerk reaction to it staring so deeply into your eyes you feel like it's tearing your soul apart?
I'd be like, I have faced
No,
farther.
you got a knife
depth
to your
hell.
to her throat. You said you specifically did something. Is that actually what you do? Or
No, that's not what I do.
Okay. All right. Then you drop to 0 hit points and fall to the ground.
Hezrod hits it with an axe.
Okay.
I'm
Do
at
we
0
not have
again.
advantage?
Yeah, and you're also in the dying state, so we need to actually go for a material. So, Alton, I'm looking at the screen here, so we're just going to sweep around. And before I do that, I'm going to just make sure I know that sometimes this will
What the fuck?
cause issues. Bear with me here.
What just happened?
Death Glare.
Jesus.
Okay, so Alton down, and since we're starting there, death saving throws happen at the start of your turn. You fell during the point during your turn. So Chad, you said Hezrod is attacking with an axe?
Yep.
Okay.
It's 17.
Yeah, you have advantage. She is bound. Okay. Well wounded.
And as soon as the axe blade sinks in, he just yells, "Cease your yammering!"
She's not talking. Her mouth's bound.
Mm.
Oh, right.
She's doing this all without talking.
Cease
Bound
your
her
trickery!
eyes.
Moving on. Zizo, you are frightened of the creature.
That's for Alton.
Okay. You reach down, touch. Actually, you can't get to Alton.
I can't get to Alton. Can I move to the right?
No, because you would technically still remain the same distance. So that's not a thing. You can only move away from.
Okay, well then.
You don't have to move away from.
Yeah.
Oh.
So, okay, since I can't reach our buddy, we'll just do what we do.
I also have Spare the Dying. Oh, no, I don't.
Okay, so bonus to shift my hex onto her.
Okay.
Then my action to do this.
Okay. So these attacks, because you're adjacent, are also because you're frightened, are made with disadvantage.
Shoot.
First attack will miss. Second attack will hit.
Okay.
Actually, no, sorry. Disadvantage and advantage, so both attacks will hit. All that damage goes through.
Alright.
Okay.
She's basically kind of being ripped to shreds by the blasts of force. She doesn't seem to be, any less angry. She's shaking against the, very violently against the chains that she's bound by.
Did you add your hex damage?
I didn't. Thanks for the reminder. Do I do it once per hit? I do, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Take that.
Avran?
So seeing as all this is happening in front of him, can he grapple the hag?
Sure, it's not going to change the fact that she can't move because she's bound to a boat anchor.
Oh, she's okay. Sorry, my bad. It was more like a thematical thing where he's like grappling her by the neck. And,
You absolutely can grab her if you want to, though.
yeah. So he's gonna whisper to her, enough. We're not here to kill you.
Okay.
But if you attack us, we will.
Okay. Are you using your action to try and intimidate her?
Yes.
Make an intimidation roll.
Alright. Oh, I'm actually good at that. 19.
It's pretty good. She does not seem to be that wary, though.
Oh.
And last but not least, Golridier.
Just to double check and make sure, you docked down the spell slots, right?
I
Last
don't
session?
remember.
Oh. I got spell slots
You should have
left.
0 third-level spell slots. You should have 1 less second-level spell slot, and you should be down 2 first levels.
You used bless.
The things I said.
Spirit weapon.
The thing I just said.
Yeah, the things that he just
Okay.
did and said.
You're at a
last
third
week.
level.
Yeah.
You're down a
Okay.
second level. You're
He
down
So
did
then
do
I
a
can
bunch of
do. I
heals.
can give him a cure wounds.
Okay.
A singular.
Alton, you feel kind of restored, and looking up, see that the creature's still kind of moving against the chains, being held by Avran. And just as you're kind of coming to consciousness and seeing this happen, you see the creature kind of staring in at the paladin who's kind of hugging her. Her eyes kind of flash again.
Stab it in the neck.
No, it's not your turn. It's not your turn. I was just explaining what you're seeing as it's happening. Sorry, you misinterpreted me.
I took a second to look at the fucking video feeds, and I just see his face as he does it. I can't help but imagine a little halfling. Yeah.
Let's see. Avran. What did you get on your save?
The initial save?
Yeah,
I think
shit
I
ton.
got 22.
Right. Okay, cool. She will...
Do I have to make another save?
No.
Wait, don't we get saves at the end of our turns?
A creature can repeat the saving throw at the end of its turn with disadvantage if the hag is in line of sight. So yes, you can. Alton was unconscious, so he remains
diddly.
frightened.
Yeah. He done diddly got downed.
But yeah, Gizo, you can go ahead and make save. Disadvantage because she can still see her.
Do you also want me to make a save since I'm forcing her to look into me?
No. You passed.
Oh,
You-
okay.
Yeah, you don't have to keep saving against frightened if you've already succeeded.
Gotcha.
So yeah, she is going to just attack.
Her hands
She
are
can
bound.
Her
attack?
hands are bound. That is true. Yeah, that doesn't change. Doesn't change anything.
Well, she's also gagged.
She's also being grappled, and yeah, I assume that means that I have a very close individual that I could just shove my fingers that are blades into. Like,
Oh no, not the
Or
finger
use-
blades again.
Or use the chain to choke
Crit.
someone out.
I'm so tired of being fingered by these monsters.
that's fine.
Don't be tired of being fingered by sea hags.
Yeah, you're gonna take 28 points of damage as it slashes into.
Ooh.
As you're kind of holding her and kind of trying to keep her like arms back, she kind of turns her hands inwards, and you see these claws like grow to a length of about like 8 inches, and kind of
Yeah.
some of them don't seem to grow like away; they kind of grow into your armor, and you can hear it kind of pop, and
Wait.
also feel it kind of tearing into your skin.
Did you say crit?
Yeah, 28. So you adamantine armor. Sorry, 16 points of damage.
So now we got to cut off their hands.
No, Hezrod hits it again with the axe.
Okay.
Okay, hold on. Let me get the 16. damage
Ezra, did
down.
you even take the axe out?
He always has it out.
No,
Yeah.
no, out of the body of the.
Oh
the
no,
sea-
no. He just pivots that shit.
Yeah, he just twists it,
Um,
just pries the hag open.
John, I have another question.
Yeah.
Does that crit affect the status of the armor?
No. Oh, yes. Sorry. It will drop it down to fine. Thank
Okay.
you.
You should
Oh,
have
no.
never said anything.
I have to play fair, guys.
I mean,
Okay.
didn't you lose your sword?
Wait, no. Sorry. I ruled on this
No?
before. Adamantine is immune to crits. It's immune to damage. It's indestructible in that regard.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It can
Alright.
Good job,
it can
Wolverine.
lose conditioning in other ways, but it can't lose condition from being hit.
Gotcha.
Mm.
Okay, cool.
Hashtag rust monsters.
Right. Oh, there's also other things that reduce quality of weapons in the game.
That's.
But
I mean,
it's the main
Southern
one.
Vitae, I can do that. So axe attack,
Yeah, bring it.
15.
Oh, Jesus.
So as you're kind of watching the claws kind of tear into Avran, you kind of bring the axe inwards toward the chest again to kind of like, hit her. And as the blade blow hits, anything you want to add narratively, or is it just straight shot?
I mean, yeah, straight shot into the center mass.
She's hit, she slumps down into the sand, and the chains kind of just fall into place. They were like taut before, and now they just kind of go slack as she's just laying there in the sand.
You
I stab her in the neck.
It's a trick. Get an axe.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. If you effectively coup de grace her as you're kind of are getting up and kind of just impale her, then yeah, she's dead. She's very dead.
Okay. Haha, that's what you get. You see,
That's
hag.
lets out a deep sigh and rolls his eyes and then stomps into the other room.
Golridir and Malika, you can go ahead and make insight checks.
Before Hezrod goes into the other room, I just want to put a hand on his shoulder. I was going to ask, are
Okay.
these creatures worth communicating with?
Apparently not.
So what the two kind of more attentive people would kind of notice is like as the creature falls is these are prisoners. They're probably not going to be terribly happy to see anyone. Like I mean it doesn't matter what your intentions are. They're not wise to that. It's going to be a very hard an uphill battle to try and get them to not want to murder and rage away from them. The crowns were probably placed on their heads for a purpose.
What if we
Yeah,
use...
I mean, definitely they were being kept prisoner by merfolk, so maybe Hezrod standing there was not the best idea. Either way, he's just gonna kill the other two that are left.
Oh wait, I have
What
forgot
if-
I have a thing.
What if we use the crown that
Or
we
what if
got?
I have magic circle, which I forgot about.
What'd that do?
Wait. Did we take the other circlets from the wood elves?
You guys, you didn't pay
Yeah.
attention last time. The circlets are no longer activated. They're a one-use item. They're not.
Oh, okay.
Now we
Oh,
can
right.
enslave
Yeah,
our
they're
own
not-
town situation.
no,
You're not running
they're not
around with
yeah.
magic
Okay.
items that you can
Alright,
now
fair.
bind to people, you turkeys.
So
Elizabeth, you're muted.
targets within the cylinder can't be charmed, frightened, or possessed by the creature.
Hmm.
Okay.
So 10-foot
Oh.
radius.
Yeah.
What
We
does
don't
that
need
mean?
that now.
So that means
We're-
10 feet out from the center point.
So we want to give up on questioning these hags.
Yeah, we're just gonna murderize them.
I have one alternative.
I don't know.
I have one alternative proposition besides Hezrod cutting their heads off.
Okay.
And
And
that is Fiona communicating with them
So,
telepathically.
real quick note. Fiona is no longer an option. If the player is not here, I'm not acting on their behalf,
That's
and
fair.
I'm not
True.
going to
That's
try
fair.
and roleplay a character
True.
for them. That's always the
Hezrod
rule.
cuts their heads off.
Sorry.
So
Fair.
why isn't like casting a magic circle like a good option?
Oh no, we're just we're probably gonna kill them, right?
But
Here.
okay, but we're like investigating this thing, right? This thing that's going on. Is it not valuable to try to get that information?
well, thinking
Oh no,
about it,
it's hella valuable.
mhm.
Well,
But these creatures aren't going to, talk
They
to
also
us.
might not know what's going on because of those circlets that they were wearing.
yeah, that's what I was about
That's
to say.
also true. Yeah.
But we don't know, right?
Right.
Yeah, we
So,
tried to do the humane thing and it backfired. Almost got somebody killed. Hezrod is not a patient
I
person.
love how your idea of the humane thing is chaining someone to a boat anchor and then, slapping them awake. And then your immediate response to them being awake is a dagger at their throat and an axe on the backswing ready to go.
Okay.
Just saying, that sounds humane as fuck to me, right? So,
Alright.
I do want to stress, I can
Oh,
definitely see
you-
the headache swelling inside of Chijo's head. Is there any reason why Magic Circle would not be a good option? Was the question that was asked by the player.
It is a good
It is a good
option.
It is a very good option.
It makes you immune to fear, and all of the
Yeah.
things
You know
that
what?
you did was fear.
I believe if you come forward with this information in Magic Circle, Avran will try to be like, I believe we should at least try that before we kill them.
No, I just say we kill them. I about
Okay.
died.
So now I have an
Oh.
outside of character question.
Yeah.
Is it asks for at least 100 gold pieces worth of iron and silver.
Powdered silver and iron, yeah. So what you're
Can I
going
just-
to want to do is go
Uh-huh.
back out to the shackles, and
Mm-hmm.
somebody with some sort of weapon just go to work for about 10 minutes
Okay, cool.
to file the
Yeah.
shavings. The shackles
can
in
do that.
question are cold iron, and the iron in question that they're made out of isn't cheap. In fact,
Yeah.
Golridier, it's nauseating to be this close to the iron in question.
Oh boy.
You can smell it.
Is it because Golrier
Oh,
is
shit.
And I know
an elf?
exactly what that smells like too.
Yeah,
Ugh.
I bet you do.
Yeah.
Like I
it-
know what that smells like. It's just
Yeah.
just
Is
iron.
it because he's an elf?
Yeah, Glorier's
Yeah.
an elf, so yeah. Fae blooded.
Hey.
Damn, son.
Cold iron is an anathema to Fae.
Can't relate. I don't have those weaknesses.
I don't know about that. I seem to remember you having a weakness to stabby fingers,
Bullets?
stabby fingers,
Oh.
bullets. Yeah, there's a lot of shit.
Okay,
Okay.
fair enough. I do have weaknesses to mortal things.
Acrylic nails, my only weakness.
Acrylic nails.
So what's the plan?
That's true. Those shits are sharp.
Can you what can we drag? Can you drag something onto the map
Oh,
to
sure.
make it be our circle?
To be completely honest, if you place it like down in
We
where
could put
Alton's
it like
standing,
right here.
it would
Yeah.
basically be blocking in such a way that Hezrod and everyone would be protected. You can
Yeah.
basically
Okay,
draw it out
yeah.
on the ground.
Can I just draw a circle?
Yeah, you draw a circle.
I like to draw stuff on the maps, but some GMs don't like that.
If you ask permission, I'm okay with it. If you just
Yeah.
start drawing
Friends.
peepees on there like I did. So.
Oh, pee.
And the two of you, I'm looking at
Okay.
Brian and Jonah right now. Don't you fucking dare.
Why Jonah? What?
Your immediate response to me saying it was giggling.
Giggling and saying,
John,
"Pee-pee."
Look
can
at
you, like,
Brian's
can
like,
you-
I want to draw it. Sorry.
Can you drag Fiona like out of here so she
Yeah.
doesn't get feared? Okay.
Yeah, again, I'm not going to negatively affect her, and I won't
Yeah,
allow
yeah.
you to either.
All right. Cool.
She's safe. She's reading her books.
I feel like walking away. I'm about dead.
Yeah, if you want
Avalanche.
to, if you want to stay her away, that's fine. Or ask
I mean,
Gordier for
you're
a heal.
safe in the circle.
I'm gonna close my eyeballs
Okay.
and pull out my rapier like this.
Oh
That-
no.
That is really cute.
It is.
Why?
It's extremely cute.
So okay, wait.
But
Do I have
extremely
intimidation?
dangerous.
Maybe I'm the one that needs to be intimidating. Okay, I have intimidation. So
I give him an
Yes.
advantage,
Well, again, just
or I'm deception.
when
Never mind.
when it comes to rolls, you're only going to need to roll like if I ask you to. So if you're trying to be intimidating, then you might have to roll an intimidation check.
yeah.
If you're saying, "Can I help him?" that's probably not going to be something I'm going to be like, "Yeah, you can help him." It'd be more of a, "Yeah, you better freaking do it," and pull out the rapier, and then I say, "Okay, you're making this check with advantage." Like, so just again, try and keep it outside of the character sheet more in the flavor of it. But that said, there's two of them. Are you waking up them both or just one?
Uno.
Question.
I mean, you could
Just-
always
We need
point
to-
at the hulking
we need to
merfolk
put
with
their-
an axe.
We need to bind their eyes so they can't see.
Well, they're already
I think that's
gagged.
good. Yeah, we
But
should.
we need
the
to cover their
gags
eyes.
didn't do shit. Let's be honest.
Yeah,
The
let's
gags didn't do much.
Leave
Put a
them-
bag over their head.
I believe we should leave them how they are so they can get a gathering of their senses.
Okay. Do you want to remove the gag since they're not really?
We need them to
Oh.
speak.
And we need them to talk, right?
Yes.
To like.
We're
So, okay.
yes, they're not going to be audibly or visibly.
They
Detained.
also will have a lot of difficulty
Restrained.
getting into our circle, so I think we're okay. So gags
Yes.
are removed.
Okay.
Yeah, the only thing we're keeping is the shackles to the bed so they don't walk up and try to finger us.
They're shackled to the bed.
Okay.
They're not trying to get fingered.
Who's trying to wake up the one, or are you waking up both?
We'll do both.
I would do one.
Yeah.
One.
One? Okay, all right,
We'll
one.
do one at a time.
Which one, left or right?
Left.
Okay. You wake her up and then step back into the circle. And as she starts to rouse, you see her immediately. Her countenance changes exactly the same as the other one did. She becomes very negative and very just the space around her distorts. But what you see from your position is that the circle that's been drawn out of the kind of cold iron shavings that you've ground down and thrown out onto the ground glows kind of like a bluish color, and you see this kind of wall of white kind of appear in front of you for just a second as her frame kind of expands outwards with magic and seems to kind of bounce off of the shell that's been kind of placed around you. And you can see her immediately recognize this and kind of scowl and stare at you angrily. And then she kind of starts moving against the restraints. And what you notice, Hezrod, is she seems to not be doing much of anything. She is trying to pull herself out of the chains, but you can see there's a certain weakness to her thrusts. She doesn't seem to be at full strength compared to the other one. And she's screaming.
Yeah. He says, "Do not struggle. We do not wish to hurt you."
What language are you speaking?
Merfolk.
She doesn't, she doesn't
All
understand
of
you.
them.
Actually, she does understand you. She kind of looks to you.
He definitely struggles with. Sorry, he
In
definitely struggles with those words.
Okay. In Merfolk back, she replies, "You brought me here, bound me in iron. Free me.
Not me. The other.
If you mean what you say, free me."
Are y'all conversing in Merfolk?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're all just standing here.
After she asks Hezrod to free her, he relays the conversation to Malika.
Absolutely not.
She is asking us to free her. I do not think that is a good idea just yet.
Agreed.
Everyone's gonna pipe up. Do you speak common?
She doesn't. She kind of looks at you in disgust and starts screaming again.
Malika would put on her most kind of like bitch witch kind of face. She would wrap her magic focus prayer beads around her hand and kind of point like a long nailed finger at the witch, at the sea hag, and she would say to Hezrod, tell her, so that the sea hag can hear her tone and see her body language. Tell her if she swears not to harm another innocent, we may consider releasing her. If she's willing to give us the information that we need, we may form a pact to set her free and spare her.
Do
And her
you
friend.
relay the sentences that were asked to be relayed, and do you do it exactly?
Yes.
Okay. She
Essentially, hey, if you cooperate with us, we'll,
You're able to pass the message despite the screaming coming in between, like her talking. She doesn't seem to relinquish that, but as you start talking, she does stop screaming again to hear you. As she understands the words that you're saying, she then stops, and you see her kind of like drop her hands just angrily, and you can actually see like her horrid visage and her like terrible kind of features. Tears actually start to roll out of her eyes, and she says back to you, "I didn't do anything to anyone. Me and my sisters, we harmed no one."
Then it
Hezrod
would-
says in Merfolk,
You do seem to be the victims of this scenario. But I cannot risk the lives of my friends.
Don't care. You, I just want me and my sisters to be free to go back to our hovel again.
I regret to inform you that one of your sisters is now dead.
Screaming.
Oh,
Lots
oh,
and lots
fuck.
of screaming. She's just screaming. And you actually notice that her screaming has caused the other one to wake up. And once she wakes up,
Oh no.
she starts screaming as well. It's really loud in here.
yeah. Like
My eyes
Hezrod
are
looks
shut.
back at Malika and sort of like shrugs, like I don't know what I said.
What
And
did
nobody
you
knows what you
say?
said either.
Yeah,
We
you
don't
said something in
know.
Merfolk and she just started screaming, and the other one woke up and she started screaming too. And Hezrod's like,
I don't have any cool illusions that would make me seem like more of a bad bitch.
I think if anything, Avran will just scream at them back.
Oh no! Oh no!
Like,
This
you
is,
know,
degenerating.
Like
know-
whenever you have a toddler throwing a tantrum
Yeah.
and you just start throwing a tantrum back at them.
Yeah.
In the midst of it, they
Hezrod.
actually start communicating. You can understand them. Hezrod, it's the one that was told that the sister was killed, telling the other that the sister is killed. The screaming becomes louder. Two of them are crying insanely. You can see pulses of the kind of elvish magic generating out from them and being blocked by the spell.
yeah, he gestures to like these interactions between like their magic and the circle, and he says,
This is what I was talking about!
I
You
told
say
you
that
we
in
should-
common?
The other one continues to scream, but the one that you've been talking to speaks and says, "You said you wouldn't free me. Of course we're going to rage against this. We are not servants. We're not slaves."
We are willing to free you, but you must cooperate.
You are asking for us to do something with no measure or understanding or any kind of semblance of trust.
You know, I'll
Hezrod
take one for the
steps-
team.
Hezrod steps out of the circle.
Okay.
I was about to step out of the
Wait,
circle.
What? No, please don't.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
You have 10 hit points. Please stay.
I mean,
Zordir
I'll
just
send-
see him
This is- yeah,
moving and
I'll
just
send-
grabs
stay in the
his
middle
hood.
of the circle, please.
He's not gonna stand in between both of them, but he steps off to the side to stand in front of the one he was talking about, and then he he sets his axe on the ground and he kneels down.
As you
leans
move
down
with this
to
kind of
sort of-
slow pace, which I assume you're kind of keeping your hands up as well, like kind
Yeah.
of peacefully, they do stop screaming and they're kind of more kind of like sobbing and panting and watching you like cats that are kind of like waiting for food to be poured into a bowl.
I say,
Aw.
Hezrod, will they like to go see their sister?
God,
No.
no,
Don't say
No.
that.
no.
I think we
Malika
should
will
wait.
say, what, can you please ask them if they speak any other languages, please?
Yeah. Hezrod says,
My companions wish to know if you speak any other languages, so that they may communicate with you as well.
And then they reply, and if you understand giant, you understand what they're saying. If you don't, you don't.
Nope.
Fucking giant. I knew it
I
should
got
have said giant.
I'm
I got
surprised they don't speak
primordial,
like
Sylvan,
Sylvan
Elvish, and
or-
Common.
No?
They s-
Sylvan or Fae.
What about
Aquan,
Infernal?
giant.
Dang.
No? Yeah. Aqua
Um,
Giant.
Okay, so that means that you're the ambassador, Herzod. You're
That's right, yeah.
the party
That's right,
face.
yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah, out of character, nobody fucking tell them I killed their sister.
Yeah. Nobody.
I mean-
you shouldn't have told them.
Nobody
that we killed their
can.
sister at all.
Except
Yeah.
for you.
We
Chad.
can't.
You're the one who can.
Oh yeah.
You
Well,
could,
that's-
if there's anybody you don't like in the party, you could just be like, he did it.
Just tell them
Oh, man.
Avran did it. Just
Do
tell
they
them
want?
Avran
Do
did
they
it.
Just
want
be like-
some wine?
It was Fiona.
It
Oh,
was-
So
like she's been
out
holding
of-
me back this whole time.
So out of character.
I mean,
feel-
technically, you could blame it on the other guys, the guys
yeah,
you
you could-
killed.
That's probably what we should do. That's
Yeah.
definitely what we should
That is a
do.
good idea.
So
They
believe,
can't.
like-
They can't defend themselves.
John, hags normally will honor a pact,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
So I think like I think Malika would want them to promise not to harm innocents, and to give us information. I mean, it sounds like they're still upset. They're not cooperative, but we're
Yeah,
offering
well-
them an out.
So what?
Yeah.
And
What?
if they don't take it, then we'll kill them.
What?
That's what I would communicate to them.
What you and if you're doing that through Hezrod, as the words are being kind of passed over, and you're thinking about it, what you're realizing is you're gonna make an
They're
insight
victims.
check. You're gonna make an insight check. I don't think anyone is getting exactly what's happening here.
I mean,
I-
I get
they
it.
I
just
mean,
wanna go
besides the
back
fact
to
that
their
they're
hovel.
Yeah,
breathing.
That's good
I
enough.
get it.
They've been taken, but they want to
They
go
were
back
taken
home.
against their will, and they were just awakened. Probably not the first time based on the child's story of the screaming,
Mhm.
but they were just awakened, and they were told to cooperate
Yep.
against their will.
Fair.
So you are creating a very binding situation, quite literally, to
Mhm.
start the negotiations. There are no pacts. There are no
We
anything.
kind of look like the bad guys.
And the
here.
second that
Right.
Hezrod finishes those statements, it doesn't come off as a, oh, wow, that's a really good option. I'll take it. It comes off as a, oh, shit, you're threatening to murder us. And
No,
they continue
Hezrod
screaming.
wants to make it very.
Oh, tell me if you change
Hezrod
the words. Sorry.
He wants to make it very clear that this is not like this offer of a pact or
Yeah.
being forced to cooperate. That's not his idea.
Okay.
He's relaying the words of somebody else because for him,
And they assume it's the point.
She said to Hezrod,
They
"How
ass-
can we trust you?" And he stepped out of the circle as a gesture of trust.
They assume that it's the pointy lady then. So then instead of screaming in your direction and being angry, they turn their attention towards her as you say, "This isn't my idea." And they just start screaming directed at Malika. And you can see that their eyes are kind of shining black and like the waves are kind of slamming against the magic circle as they are focusing
no.
all of their ire and hatred at you.
Can
So
everyone follow Hezrod's lead?
if
Hezra,
But having his
do they
hands up.
want some wine? I think that I had some more on the ship.
Do they seem parched?
I mean, they seem
to
a
be
lot of
s-
shit.
They
not
seem to
I
be
just
mean,
one
it might
screaming.
help.
Everyone's gonna step out the circle as well with his hands up. Seeing as how they didn't attack.
You'd also be
Hezra.
insightful enough to know at that point, because of what you've done so far, there's probably no mending the wounds that have already been put into place here.
Probably.
You've
yeah.
shown
Wine
them no
can fix a
trust,
lot.
and you started off by treating them
Actually,
as nothing. So you're
That's
pretty
where
certain that
Avran is gonna try to fix this.
this conversation's pretty much over in your mind, Malika. They are going to continue to scream and be hateful.
He's gonna try to open up.
Yeah,
one
but
of
if
their...
they don't make a promise
Oh,
not to hurt
no, I
innocents,
I
not to hurt
understand.
us, then they're gonna die.
I understand.
So
Well,
I
They
hope
don't-
that they understand that.
It doesn't seem like they're going to be making any pacts or bindings or promises. It sounds like
Right.
they're going to continue screaming.
They don't want to hurt anyone. They just want to go home, and they think
No.
we're the ones who
Yeah,
You don't
can't.
know
that's
that.
a lie. That's a lie. Sea hags are evil, and they will hurt people, and they will eat people.
Out of character note, evil does not necessarily mean that they will do evil
Right.
things on the regular.
So it's like-
Yeah.
They will, though. Like, that's for
Yeah,
sure. Like,
they're
if it's
fully
something that they
capable
need
of
to do, but evil doesn't always mean that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Evil
So
would
it's
just mean
like-
self-serving.
Yeah.
Right.
It's
Mm,
a gray thing. It's a very gray type of thing.
I mean, y'all want to free them, free them.
That
Like,
doesn't seem
they're
it's
not-
going to help.
They're not evil. They're more like
No, they're
It's
evil.
rough.
no. They're
They
more like
are evil.
mentally. They're more like mentally unwell homeless people.
They have
like-
a home.
Pretty much,
They were
They're-
taken from
they're-
them.
They're
Yeah,
pushed
I
out-
mean, they're homeless
pushed out-
now.
They're pushed out to the edges of society. They're kind of like abandoned and neglected and forgotten. Pretty much anything, any sort of like violent, malicious things they do, they either do out of some sort of, derangement or necessity.
I'll release this one.
No.
Oh God.
Stop.
I'll release
Stop.
it.
No.
No.
Clink.
Avran. No.
What are you doing to
Avran-
release it?
Okay.
Either strength or I'll just cut it with my longsword.
Which of those two are you doing?
Strength is probably the.
I'll do strength.
Make a strength athletics roll.
I'll just try to do something with the shackles. I don't know.
You know what? As
20.
Yeah.
Hezrod's gonna do the same thing because
So-
they can't pass into the circle. So
You
everyone
watch
needs to-
Hezrod kind of reach down, grab a hold of the chain, and start pulling at it to try and break it, and nothing happens. Because it's made out of iron, you idiot.
But I'm so strong though.
Cool.
Okay, so Hezrod looks at her and says,
I will free you. Do not be alarmed.
They stop screaming for
will-
a second, but they're now, warily kind of watching you, but keeping
Right,
their
and
eyes
he
mainly
says-
on Malika.
he says,
I will have to use the axe.
Nope. I will pick the lock.
that is also that also works. But there's another question Hezrod wanted to ask them before he gets around to freeing them.
Okay.
He says in Merfolk,
How many children were you forced to bear for that now dead fool?
That also killed her sister.
Both of them stop and look at you. And their faces, bubbling with tears and just absolute kind of just terror. They stare at you. And the one that you've been talking to says,
Jesus.
What manner of child were you forced to create?
to know.
Monsters.
Free. Yes, for
Hezrod looks sad. Like he looks like legitimately sympathetic. And he gestures to Alton and he says, "My friend will free you now."
Okay.
But before that, he says to Avran in common, he says, "Go hide the body."
I thought you were literally going to be walking out with them as they're kind of heading out to the sea and just be like kicking it underneath the boat.
No. He wants the body to be like safely out of the way. But he says, "Go hide the body. I'm letting them go and leading them away."
Joke's on you. They actually no comment. Kidding.
Yeah, that would suck.
Okay, I'll
That
go
would've
hide. I don't fucking know.
Technically, their character sheet does list common as a language, but I don't believe that these individuals would have ever had an.
Because they're specifically sea hags.
Yeah,
But yeah, then he will say, "My friend's going to free you. Is that okay?"
they don't seem to reply. They just kind of
So-
stare at you. They're absolutely just broken, shattered at this point.
Fair.
I, Avran, don't know where to hide the body because
Put
he
it on the
doesn't
ship
know-
inside the bow.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
can put
there's
it
like
inside.
a giant hole
I
inside
could
the
do that?
ship.
Okay.
Yeah, you can
just, like,
stuff
throw
the
it
body inside the ship. Just chuck the anchor in there as
Sure.
well. You know,
I will chuck said body into
discard
the
it.
boat.
unceremoniously.
Kick a little sand in there.
Yeah.
I mean-
Well, I would say throw a couple dead bodies in there, except that all the ones that were close to it were vaporized. So
I'll put as many remaining body parts of the.
there weren't
No,
any body
there's
parts left by
nothing.
the jet.
Oh, there's
Vaporized.
literally nothing.
They were
Jesus.
Vaporized.
Vaporized. They were
Yeah.
turned
What about-
to mist.
What about these?
Yeah, there's a
fuckers?
couple bodies in there. You can. That's fine.
Yeah,
Anyways,
I'll take those bodies.
Alton,
Put them in
do
a
you-
pile.
unlatch the shackles from the creature.
Yes, the one on the left.
Okay.
And then, I guess you know what? I'll do them both at the same time with both hands, like this.
Okay. They after having the shackles removed, you see them like move the other hand with the other shackle to like allow you easier access to it to relinquish it as well, and they do so with kind of like it's almost like someone kind of reaching out for a handout or something like, and you release both shackles, right? Both sides of the manacle.
Yep.
Okay. They let them drop to the ground. You see them start kind of rubbing the wrists and looking at it. Their skin is kind of like a bluish tone, like a kind of like aqua color. But around the wrist, you can see that it's actually turned like a deep kind of purple in color. And you can actually see that it's mottled as well at the points where it's connected. Once they're freed, they look towards the circle in front of them, which is not barring evil, it's barring Fae. And they kind of look around like they're waiting for it to kind of be removed because they can't leave this place with it in the way.
I'll wipe
Wait.
the. Is it made out of sand or something?
I'll drop it. I'll drop it. Malika will drop it.
No, not your
okay.
circle. Their circle.
No. You should leave the room before you drop it.
No. Their circle, the one that they were surrounded by.
No, we ruined that circle already.
Mhm.
We're talking
Oh.
about Malika's circle.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Wait, I
Definitely
just realized.
Get to a safe distance before you do that. Hezrod will lead them out and away. But they're super pissed at Malika. Malika does not need to be here.
Would Galradir have been able to get in that since he has Fey ancestry?
Yeah, you're fine.
Okay.
If you're
I didn't know how close.
Yeah, if you're inside of it, the circle affects creatures of the chosen type in the following ways. You wouldn't have been able to leave the circle.
Right.
Nor would you have been able to teleport away.
We're
but,
just hanging.
yeah.
We're like, well, you're trapped out there and I'm trapped in here.
That said, if the circle is disbanded, they start moving towards the exit. The person who you were speaking to, the hag you were speaking to, kind of breathes in and kind of wipes her hand over her face. And as she does so, she becomes a very beautiful merfolk woman. And she looks to you and says, I appreciate what you have done. If we are able to build our strength back, we will continue what we were doing.
What were you doing?
Living. The people that we associated with were wiped from the sea by the one that they serve.
The Lady of the Deep. My people were erased by her as well.
They may have been the people we have associated with. Probably not, though. Plenty of your folk all and about. We weren't doing anything besides selling them. Never.
I'm sorry.
Selling them what?
Nothing. You'll probably make judgment calls. It seems like all you who associate with landfolk can do. I appreciate your assistance. If my sister were alive, I would grant you a boon, but I have no power to do so. Hopefully you can stop this from ever happening again. And whatever was birthed from us, I hope you never have to see it.
What do you know of the Lady of the Deep?
She seeks out those who serve. She's a force of destruction and hunger. She wishes nothing more than to devour those that would serve her. Seek out her children.
Her children. Where might I find them? It would be a fine place to start.
If you ever find orbs of the sea, like pearls but larger.
Like this?
Yeah, he turns around.
Nobody has it. Avran has it. Avran has it.
No, yeah, his
Avran's
eyes
not even
go
there.
wide.
Oh, he's not there.
His eyes go wide, and he immediately turns around and yells down the tunnel.
Well, hold on.
Avran!
He shrugs, confused,
Wait,
and
continue.
kind of moves on with her sister.
No, continue the shit.
What do I do should I find one of these?
Destroy it.
Thank you. I will guide you back to the ocean.
If you lead her,
What is your names?
To the lake.
if you lead her and the others to the lake, they will kind of see where they're at and understand that they are very far from home. But they kind of seem to take it in stride and, realizing that this is a better alternative than...
Going back to the ocean?
well, this is a better... No, they're going back to the ocean. The lake connects.
No, I see you.
It's going to be a long swim is what I'm saying.
I got you. Okay, so a few things. Hezrod would like to know their names. He would also
Yeah.
like to let them know that he and his friends are going to be staying in Land's End. If
They just don't care.
Okay.
Shit. She says, I am Kalev and this is Cash. And they
Okay.
then leave it at that.
Could you
And-
spell those out for me?
Yeah, sure.
Go ahead and add them to my list of
They've been through some
NPCs.
shit, dude.
Oh, yeah, no, for sure. They are not happy. And they will leave. Unless they are stopped in any way.
No.
Did they want wine?
Hezrod will basically escort them to the water to make sure nobody heckles them.
And
How
then...
far along was Avran in the body disposing?
Oh, you'd
process?
finish it by then. They...
Okay.
Yeah, so after they have safely been on their way, Hezrod's kind of standing. He's like standing on the shore, like kind of watching their wake as it like recedes and disappears.
They
Looks
seem
like
to
it
be
would
following the
water.
shoreline. It looks like they're heading the same way that Land's End would be.
Interesting.
Oh.
So yeah, they're heading out, and he kind of casually looks over to Avran. He says,
Avran, do you have
Yes.
that pearl?
Yes, I do.
May I see it?
Why?
May I see it?
But why? I was thinking of selling it for some gold.
Oh,
I
we're
would
not
say no.
selling that
No,
pearl,
no.
Avran.
No.
Why not?
It is very dangerous.
We're not that desperate.
It's very dangerous.
I mean, it's
You should not be carrying it.
No one can make that into jewelry, Avran. No one's going to buy that.
But it's so pretty.
Avran,
Okay.
may I have the pearl? Please stop making me use this voice. It hurts my throat.
He'll give it. He'll give it.
He,
Like as soon as you say, "Oh, it's not valuable," then it's like, oh, okay.
No one's going to wear a 30-pound pearl around their neck.
Maybe a
Flavor
giant.
Flav will.
Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, he takes the pearl and he goes and kind of. I want to look for like a little,
Like a little rock.
like some rocks that I can
Yeah.
like nestle in so it doesn't like roll away or
Yeah,
anything. So it
you find a
doesn't
spot
move
like that,
here.
not too far off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He like jams it in there so it's
Mhm.
not going anywhere, and then he takes his axe and just starts cracking the shit out of it.
Are you utilizing any of your charges of more destruction?
I'm all out of any
Okay.
resources.
Then it takes some time, but eventually you do break it. You get a crack in it. As you're smashing at it, Avran, are you doing anything? You smashing your pearl?
I mean, he's just gonna be sad and watch,
Okay.
but that's it.
It's
you-
like you gave it to Hezrod. You should have known this was gonna
I
happen.
know. I know.
You spend the better part of 20 minutes, and eventually it's like it seems to be breaking open, similar to like if you're familiar with like a job breaker, like the big ones.
Mhm.
It
Yeah.
snaps open like that. And you can actually see like the ring lining of it's like how it kind of grew out.
The
and it's-
calcium buildup.
Yeah.
Pearl.
Exactly. But the center portion, once it breaks, once it actually snaps in two, it appears to be
Tootsie top.
hollow. And an oozy matter kind of spills out, as does what appears to be some sort of like small larva-like creature.
Kill it with fire!
The
Yeah,
larva-like
he's-
creature appears to open one of its three mouths, and as it does
With
so, you
fire.
see what looks like again, content warning, a fetus shaped tongue come out of its mouth and kind of start like slipping about. It appears to be dying. And do you finish
Yeah.
the job on it?
No, yeah.
Okay.
It's like,
Avran,
"Wah!"
that's
and he
what
goes,
you're carrying.
gross! Bah! Just squishes it.
Okay. Yeah, it smears against your boot and kind of like burns into the rock a bit. You notice that it's kind of burning at your boot. You kind of push it into the water to assuage the acidic or
No,
fire-like nature.
Get on out of here!
Go
We're
on.
going to.
So
now
that was
it's
an
like, I'm
egg.
Yeah,
like that.
apparently.
That
I'm
was
Man, that
assuming-
thing could have ate your face.
So I'm assuming that like it's like split in half.
Yeah, perfect too.
Okay, right. So he's killed the larva that was inside of it. All the goo is kind of dissipating into the sand or whatever. He pulls out his club, casts Shillelagh, and just starts like smashing the two halves into.
Bits.
He wants to just completely demolish this thing.
Absolutely, not a problem.
So
Should we
yeah.
save?
Alton, being familiar with jewelry and kind of pearl structure, you actually take Goldier's words as note. This isn't worth shit. It literally appears to just be like if someone were to kind of like leave something out in like calcified water and let it build up over time around something. The outer shell has a pearl-like structure, but everything inside is basically worthless.
Was
I use some
everyone wondering
CLR
that?
on it.
What would you say?
I use CLR.
Yeah, that would work.
Did we all witness that?
Yeah.
Do we save a sample of that creature for Fiona to study?
No,
if
she
you-
doesn't want that.
If you want to message her in the Twitch chat, you can. She is in there, I think, checking occasionally. If you want to update her as to what's going
You
on.
can scrape it out with a spoon.
What I will
It's like,
say
yeah.
is I'm going to go over the session with her at the in between now and the next session, and if there's anything that would have been done that's not like horribly game changing, then
Yeah.
I will say that that's fine.
Yeah, she's gonna be so mad that Hezrod killed one of the hags.
Can I get some heals, please, or take a short rest?
Am I missing something, or was that like one of the babies laid by the hags, or no?
We don't know.
You don't know?
Okay.
She
we
just
don't know.
said
I don't know.
it was a monstrosity.
Mhm.
That was totally
Or an
monstrosity.
abomination.
The hag also
Something like
told
that.
you they knew what that was, but they didn't know what they were birthing. So
Mm.
Did you? So you just kill? Yeah. So it was like a little fetus
well, no.
Yeah.
It was like a larva, and
with
it
a
had
fetus.
3 mouths, and one of the mouths, its tongue was fetus shaped.
Ooh.
That's just a horrible design for a tongue. Like, what
Question
can
Hey.
you taste with that?
Gold
Hey,
Deer.
Abraham,
Like a
that's a jewel
lure.
right there. You're
Yeah.
Lure,
30
right?
pound
Yeah.
jewel.
I'm sorry, Suzo, what?
It's like a lure.
Yeah.
A bit, right.
Oh,
Like a
Oh,
deep sea
okay.
creature lure.
Correct.
gotcha.
Gross.
I feel
Like
like
those
this is
big
triggering
mouthed
some
ones that
memory.
have like the little like.
Yeah,
the
the
light bulb
anglerfish.
thing.
The anglerfish.
Mm.
The
Yeah, but-
anglerfish, yeah.
But there's like something related to this campaign.
Perhaps.
Elizabeth.
Hmm?
Maybe it's like a memory that I dreamed.
What?
You know,
Like you.
I've always wanted to be able to
You
DM
mean-
something that came into your memories and like made you afraid of.
Are you talking about
The
this?
world.
Some of the stuff that we've learned on Tuesday?
No,
Is it?
Yeah.
no, but yes.
It's a lure.
Don't we have the horny campaign?
Tuesday. Not this
Isn't
game.
that? No, that's
Um,
what we are, right? The horny campaign.
No.
Both of us
Oh
are.
wait,
No.
yeah, we got the.
All of
we
them
got
are.
The,
No.
We got the lust.
This
lady.
is the lust demon. Tuesday is not
Yeah.
the lust demon. That's not their thing.
I
Yeah,
mean,
no, we are.
semi-related.
Anywho.
All of my campaigns are related.
Yeah.
I can't help it.
I will say last Tuesday it was pretty steamy.
It was amazing.
Hot.
So, where are we going now? You got no info.
Sleep. Mostly.
Hezrod has a question for
We should
Golradir.
take little Billy to his daddy. Yes.
For me?
Also,
William
follow-up
Elias.
question.
I got 10 hit points.
Yeah,
At the
I
end
want to
of
go to
last
that.
session, at the end of last session, was
Yeah.
there like a hint that Billy was possessed or something?
No,
No.
No.
Okay.
he
That's
seems
just
fine.
a running
He's sitting.
joke.
Yeah, he's sitting out on the boat and ready for you. I mean, he watched all of that.
Great.
Oops. Sorry about that.
There. Okay, so Fiona said yes.
And if someone does come over, if Fiona goes over
Not
to,
Fiona, Josie.
oh gosh, I hope that she comes over to. Okay, fine. She has it in a sample mode, but
Yeah.
Oh, God.
That said, she does go over there to console William, and she's like, "There, it's fine. Don't worry. It's," and he says to her, "That's what the screaming was sounding like."
Oh, great. Thanks, Billy.
Thanks, Billy.
I crawl into somebody's backpack and take a short rest so they can just carry me around.
We're going
Hezrod does-
home.
Yeah.
You don't have to do
Wait,
that.
Okay.
Wait,
Let's fast.
Avrin has the pearl pouch.
Yeah.
You
No,
can
I
just
broke it.
I just
broke
crawl
Are you
into
like a
that
baby?
this. Because
I
I'm
broke
30 pounds. He's
Is
basically
that called like a
carrying me.
papoose? What is-
Yeah, papoose.
Just throw me on your back.
it.
I'm down.
It's like a baby Bjorn.
So
Yeah.
It's in
That has
front
to
of
be your
me.
next doodle.
here's my question:
God.
do you want to go to Layla's Point and stop there for any reason, or do you want to move past Layla's Point and head to Land's End?
We have to
quick
drop
question,
off the kid, right?
Kid goes to Land's End. Yeah.
Quick question for Golradir.
Yes.
What are like the funerary rites of Fae?
Chaotic.
Personally do not know that. off
Dust
the
to
top of my
dust.
head. Dust to dust, yeah.
In all honesty, where a body lies is where the body lies.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
They don't bury
Kind of a
people.
back to nature sort of thing.
Well, sirens
That makes
burn
sense.
are dead.
Yeah.
Well, burn baby burn.
'em. Yeah, we could burn them all.
Burn
I
the
mean-
ship.
Oh yeah. Also, before we leave, let's investigate that weird heartless guy that fell out of the Minotaur.
Just a guy inside of a Minotaur.
What about the well or the royal? Should we investigate that?
That's right. The
Also an
royal.
What'd you say?
That's also an
You
option.
said also an option.
Wait, there was
Um,
also this. No, wait, there was also this like tunnel. Wait, did we
Yeah.
go in that tunnel?
We didn't.
yeah,
Okay,
we
I'll
went-
move this back. Okay, sorry.
Oh.
Got ahead of you. You guys have a lot of
Can
questions.
we
There's-
just take a short rest then?
If you want to take
I'm
another one,
sleeping.
yeah.
Oh wait, we already
No,
took a
sorry.
short
You
rest.
can take another. It's okay. Lots happened
mean,
since then.
Yeah.
I didn't
True.
use any slot. I used one spell.
Well,
I don't.
Hezrod's all out of spell slots, so he's gonna have to take a long rest to refill that.
So I'm just gonna
He's
go
still pretty good on hit points.
to streamline the process here and make sure people are kind of getting their moment in the sunlight. I'm gonna go ahead and go through the table. I'm gonna move in this instance. I'm gonna go from right to left. I'm gonna ask you what your point of interest is. You're gonna tell me what it is, and then we're gonna move on to the next person. We'll see who's going where, and we'll go ahead and do each kind of segment there. So from what I understand, the main point of interest are the royal, the tunnel, the passageway that goes up and down. What else was there? That it?
Yeah, there was the Royal, the
guess.
Minotaur, and then
Oh, the Minotaur. The Minotaur. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, perfectly fine. So then I'll go ahead and start with Alton. Where are you wanting to investigate? What do you want to investigate?
The royal.
Okay, great. Jiso, what is Malika's thought process? Royal as well?
Yeah.
Okay. Moving on to Chad.
They're probably going to need my help to explore the royal.
Okay. And then Elizabeth? Corridor?
Probably tunnels.
Tunnels, okay. And then Avrin?
Don't split the party too much.
Definitely Royals.
Okay. So if you majority go to the royal, it's still churning, and it does still appear to be kind of like a very turbulent situation. It's about 10 feet down to the water line, and you can't really see because of the foaming and kind of like billowing nature of the water how deep it goes. You do know that when the guy dropped in, he did sink quite a bit before he was pulled out. It does seem
How
to be
was he
churning.
pulled out?
He was pulled out by magic. You saw him lifted up by the old man,
that's
the pervert.
right. Herbert the pervert.
Herbert
Got
the
it.
pervert. That's his name now. That's canon.
I throw
Amazing.
him into the royal and see what happens.
His body starts to disintegrate over time after being battered and bashed along the walls and like.
Oh, he doesn't drop down or anything?
No,
Okay.
it seems to churn him into nothing more than a slurry.
Oh.
Good, that's what he deserved.
And after about 5 minutes or so of that, you watching that happen, you would notice that it forms the slurry towards the middle of the royal.
Mm.
So when he fell in, the illusion that was on him broke.
Yeah. So the merfolk body that you just tossed in basically was churned to death by the royal after about 5 minutes.
Okay. So
Does
is
that
it
lead
like,
us to believe that it removes illusions or magical effects or
No.
something?
No, we took his
probably lost the
magical
illusion
items.
because he died?
No, the
What
illusion.
Real quick,
yeah,
just to satisfy, I want to make sure you're understanding this. When a physical body of a living creature is thrown into the royal, over time it disintegrates them into nothing more than like a liquid form at the top of the royal, which is
Yeah.
kind of like in the center of it. Seems to kind of
Yeah.
center it and kind of create this like pocket in the spin that's just that dude.
It's like
Yeah.
that guy that fell into the Yellowstone Springs.
It's just like that guy who fell into the
Yeah.
yellow again.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Wait,
Is the royal? Is there like heat coming off of it? Is there any sort of like weird
No heat.
smell?
There's now a weird smell because that guy was kind of gross anyways, but yeah, it's worse now. And I thought he smelled bad on the outside.
It was gross on both sides.
yeah.
So I wonder what happens if we throw like 3 more bodies in,
Same
You'll
thing.
probably just
because they wanted children, you know.
You see, because I was thinking Hezrod could go in there and swim around and see if there's anything down there, but not now. Nope, he just saw what it does to Merfolk.
It does take time. It took about 5 minutes to like fully disintegrate it.
Plus, it was like, kind of dead weight in there.
The
You
guy
may
who
be
was-
able to give some resistance.
There was a guy who was thrown in there who wasn't immediately killed, but he definitely didn't look like he was happy about having been in there.
Mhm.
Mhm.
You're welcome.
Like he might have taken damage or something.
True.
How much damage?
I don't know. Do you want to jump in and check?
Fuck around and find out.
Do you want to fuck around and find out?
I was gonna say lower me in. You said it's like 10 feet down.
It's about 10 feet down to the surface of the royal, yeah?
Would I fairly
dive in
easily
the
be able to
center?
get in and out?
I'm sorry, say again?
Would I fairly easily be able to get in and out?
No.
With my like volition.
Everyone
Absolutely
could,
not.
you could. We have that 90-foot head rope.
Yeah. Well, what do you think this thing's gonna do to a rope?
I mean, true.
So
Or
okay,
double it.
I just want to ask a question, and I just want to make sure. I just want to make sure I'm understanding your like logic here, like your mentality. I want to picture myself in your mind, and I want to
Jonah or
come.
Hezron?
I'm talking to Chad mainly. I want to come into your like train of thought. Okay, I want to be there. Help me do it. Okay, if I shove my hand into a garbage disposal and it ripped my hand off, would you then also say, "I wonder what that's like. I wonder
No.
how that feels"?
No,
That's
absolutely
literally
not.
what you just watched happen. A person
Yeah,
was
let's
literally
move on to the
shredded
tunnels.
to nothing. Particulate
But then-
mess. And you're like,
But then you implied that it wouldn't kill me immediately and might be worth exploring.
it's not instantaneous, but it does prove fatal. Let me check it out.
Yeah,
Let me check
Fair
it out.
enough.
Not a
Fair
fan.
enough.
I might not die immediately,
It would
but
seem,
I might not die immediately.
it would
I
seem,
didn't live
True.
this long by risking death.
it would seem that the purpose of this is to create this muck.
I got you.
Does the muck turn into a pearl later?
No, I don't know. Maybe.
Okay,
Sure.
so the royal
I don't
is
know,
basically
maybe.
like it's like a magic bullet.
Yeah, it is.
Sure.
It is like it took me a second to actually understand what you're saying, but yes, it is exactly
I
like a
knew.
magic bullet.
Mm,
It's a magic garbage disposal.
All right, let's go through these
Hezrod-
tunnels.
Hezrod hawks up like a huge loogie and spits it in there.
Yep, it's gone in moments.
That's fine.
Okay, moving on from
That's
you.
it. He
Go over here.
spits in there, walks away.
You move
Yep.
over to the tunnel area, and you can see that there's a light shining down, and you can see that the water kind of gets deeper in that area underneath it, and looks like it
Mhm.
would bleed down into, underneath.
okay. And which tunnel is that
I'll go ahead
again?
and move you.
Sorry.
It's fine. It's
I
where
never
Malika-
actually got to explore this map, so.
It's where Malika kind of mentioned it. So,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
and Malika would be walking up behind you at this point.
Great.
You
And
moved into the wall of
here's
the
where
map.
it goes under
It goes up and
Up.
it goes down.
there and down.
Yep.
Spooky. So it's kind of like a shaft of sorts.
Yes. And the bottom
Okay.
portion of the shaft is filled with water. The
Mm-hmm.
top portion of the shaft seems to go straight up. You can kind of walk out to that point. It's not terribly deep, maybe about knee height. And you can kind of look up, and it is a perfect straight shot. And by this point, having taken another hour rest, the sun is only kind of coming in because it's past
Mhm.
noon a little bit.
Okay. So that's where light was coming in at the noon hour.
Yeah, when
How
Malika
high-
checked it.
Theory.
How high up is that hole?
It's about 10 feet. It's about 7 feet off the top of the water. But it looks like the walls of this are decent enough that you can kind of climb up to it. And looking into the hole, it is a pretty much perfect shaft, but it does look like there's a lot of climbing material inside of the tunnel. Also, if you're not small sized, it looks like you can actually kind of, the only term I can think of is Jackie Chan it. I don't know if you're familiar with the concept I'm giving you here, but if
Yeah.
you've ever seen any of the movies where he does the like spider crawl down, yeah, that
Mm-hmm.
spider crawl. That would have
mean,
probably
this
been
is-
better.
This
Yeah.
is like a non-blender kind of option.
Yeah, there's
for
the
us
water-
to check out.
No
yeah.
vortex.
The water is not killing anyone.
But it does go downward.
It does.
I don't know if Hezrod
Okay.
would want to explore there in that watery area.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, he
Go already over.
he kind of sinks underneath
Mention it.
the water and kind of makes his way over to the hole and like peers inside.
Okay. It's
There's this-
pitch black after a fashion. It looks like it goes down for quite a bit.
He reaches around for like a small rock, picks it up, casts light on it, and just throws it in there and watches it sink.
Yeah, the water's murky enough that the light kind of just becomes dark after a fashion. It's not clear enough water. It seems to be kind of filled with particulate.
Hmm.
If you're trained in nature and you're standing here, you can make a nature roll.
Bum, bum, bum. 21.
It looks like this tunnel was formed by something coming through the top of this cavern structure, which is about 150 feet up through solid rock, straight down, and it looks like it goes down for quite a bit as well. So The rock beneath you is probably broken up by whatever descended. This is not a recent affair either.
So I'm sorry. So, like a living thing?
You don't know?
Fair. How much rope do we have?
90.
90 feet of rope.
Okay, 90 feet of rope. I would ask that everybody else contribute and see how much rope we can get.
Plenty of rope out there on the ship. You're able to get as much rope as you like.
Fair enough.
And if you want
to...
The 90 feet was everyone's contribution.
Yeah, but
No,
there's
that
plenty
was
of rope. There's plenty of rope outside. There's plenty of rope in this place. You're able to get as much rope as you like.
Yeah. The 90 feet rope was Eric's and Hezrod's.
Are you descending into the water?
Yeah, he's going to leave the other end of the rope up here with somebody. Basically, as soon as he sees any sort of danger, he's going to just get the fuck out of it.
Understandable. Go ahead and make an investigation roll.
He proceeds slowly and cautiously.
Of course. Okay. Eventually, about 100 feet down, you kind of get to a point where it starts to cone in a bit. Like it narrows. You're kind of feeling around and like looking for any kind of anything. And you realize that this just appears to be a very strange formation of something coming straight through the top and like kind of forming the space. Whatever it was, you're not seeing it or you're not feeling it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's murky. It's murky down here. It's filled with like dust and the like.
Did I find my glowing rock or is it long gone?
Yeah, you find your glowing rock.
Nice. Okay. Well, if I find it, then, you know, there's like I haven't seen anything interesting from here to there. So
yeah, there's no longer anywhere to go. It literally just narrows to a point and ends. So.
I got you. So he gets bored and comes back up and says,
Nah, nothing in there.
And so when we look up the shaft,
Mhm.
it's just like a tunnel of rock,
Yeah.
as far as we can tell.
Yeah, like something bored out the rock straight down.
Aliens.
It was aliens.
Let's use dynamite.
Aliens.
God damn it, Elon Musk!
Not again.
Boring company.
This isn't LA.
Trying to get to the highways quicker. Anyways, are you going back out to William and casting off back to the ship, or is there anything else you want to check out?
That's
the
everything.
only- Yeah.
Okay.
All of the other tunnels have been explored, right? And there's nothing
Nothing here.
else interesting.
Yeah.
What about the ladies?
Oh,
Are they
they're up and active, and they say they can probably find their way from here to where they need to go, back to their enclave.
okay? Before they leave,
Go ahead.
he would like to ask if they know of any word of his wife.
They would say that the last thing that they remember was coming to blows with bandits in the woods. No idea exactly where from here, but they should be able to find their way back because they know the lake. And they say they lost those fights, and when they woke up, they were being tended to by you.
Great. So no word of his wife.
Right.
Great. Okay. Well,
Before
if they see her,
I'll let you know.
yeah, send a message.
Yeah.
Land's End, at least for now.
They seem to know of her,
Yeah.
and you're thinking to yourself, you don't think you've ever been to the Harib Enclave this far out, but since
She
they're
gets around.
since they're hunters, she might have trained with them. You don't know.
Hmm.
All right, cool. Back on the boat, back to the main ship, and then back to where you go.
Yeah, before we leave, Hezrod's gonna grab all the IPA he can find.
Okay. It's not IPA. It's pale ale, which is very different.
Oh, right. Sorry.
Yeah, it's basically
Worth the
very
habit.
just weak and more for just slaking your thirst than becoming drunk.
Yep. Better than nothing. It's
I
been a long
guess.
day.
Yeah, and you
He'll
load
drink
that
the good stuff
onto
when he gets back to town.
the craft. You get back to the fishing vessel, load it up, and start heading towards Land's End, right?
Mhm.
Yep.
Okay. Once you arrive there, I'll go ahead and bring that map back up. the meth for Land's End. What would you like to do once you return there?
Get some real booze.
Okay. Heading over to the tavern.
Yeah, I mean, he just makes a beeline straight for it. He walks with purpose.
Okay.
Probably take the Gordier would likely help Fiona take the child back to his papa.
Yeah, his mother and father are greatly appreciative. They were the ones who gave you the quest to start with. If you ask any questions of little William on the way, he would kind of explain to you, just exactly as it's been described. And if anyone if Fiona kind of says anything about the apprenticeship or anything, you kind of overhear him say, I'm going to be just like my namesake.
Your namesake?
Yeah. He's the one who said I could be a wizard.
Oh, who's that?
William, the Wise. My name is also William, and so I started calling myself that, but he's a great wizard in Knock.
Oh, well, we're headed to Knock soon, so maybe we can
If you ever
find
see him,
him.
tell him I'm your friend, and he'll probably give you magic.
Good to know, thank you.
Of course.
We'll talk to your friend. Tell him you say hello.
Okay. Anything else that you want to do in Land's End? Besides drink and probably take a long rest before moving beyond that.
Did we had the other, hold on, I'm looking at, there was the patrol that we still haven't done.
Okay. What you'll note is since you've been gone for quite a while, they will explain to you that they have learned that the missing patrol is dead. They've been found dead in the forest area where they disappeared.
Do they know how they died? Or like what their wounds were?
It would appear that they were attacked by kobolds.
Kobolds? They got overwhelmed by kobolds.
Looks like we gotta go fight some dragons.
No.
So I just want to make sure and take a moment and place a note there. Brian, as a player, just said in a mocking tone that they died to kobolds.
Yeah, I know. He's new. He's new. Okay.
Okay. Well,
Yes, Brian did alone.
Yeah, it was just Brian who said that. We will make sure you understand.
Okay.
Just Brian though.
Just Brian though. Just Brian.
You
He's
mean
the
all
only
time.
one. No, Brian, the player. The player is the one who will be attacked by kobolds.
It's gonna be
It's
gonna be like
Meepo, no.
It's gonna be like watching Fight Club with toddlers.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Muppet babies. Anyway.
Well, I would say that, but I'm not even on the map, so it's cool.
Oh, that's fair. You haven't been to Land's End.
Oh, there I am.
There
Magically
we go.
I appear. It's magically delicious.
Why is that happening?
I think while everyone's drinking and whatnot, I think Avran will try to convince the party to deal with the dragon situation that plagues this town.
Oh yeah, you're gonna have to really twist Hezrod's arm.
What's the dragon situation?
We have two
They're-
dragons that are fighting.
Pretty self-explanatory.
Yes. There are two dragons that are fighting over the territory or their hunting grounds. The priestess, I believe of Octavia, or no, she's a priestess of multiple religions, I believe, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Something like that. If you want to go talk to him, yeah.
Yes, she said that we just need to kill one of the dragons. But if we do kill two or both, then that'll be even greater.
Money.
I have a plan.
Oh.
Chad has a plan, not well, I guess it is Hezrod's plan.
Do tell.
Hezrod wants, because basically he wants to witness for himself like the kind of destruction and like elemental fury of two dragons trying to kill each other. So his plan, he gets like a napkin and like a little piece of charcoal and starts drawing like really crude figures as he explains it. But basically, like, go track down one of these dragons, pledge his services to them to help that dragon kill the other one, and then when the two dragons meet and start fighting, just fuck them both up.
Or
Fight
fuck up the
two
weaker
dragons
one.
at the same time.
Well, yeah, but it's not like they're both just gonna be like, oh hey, like, let's hold that thought, let's kill these guys first. Like, I don't imagine dragons will be like, time out.
That's fair. But
Can let them fight for a while.
We could also do that.
Get them weaker amongst themselves, and then just yeet both of them.
Right.
Or why not have one kill one and then we kill the other?
Well, obviously they've been trying to kill each other and they can't
The-
pull it off.
The
So we go
priestess.
I like that idea. Let's do it.
The priestess did say she was going to give us a boon/blessing before we go fight them.
Yes.
Yes.
Wait, what?
Wait, what?
The priestess,
She did
the
say
dragon
come
priestess.
to talk to her before
Yes.
we left.
Oh, right.
Yeah, to go fight the dragon. She said she was going to either bolster our defenses or make a prayer or something that, something that would help us kill those dragons.
She said she'd give you a boon. She didn't say anything about the specifics.
Okay.
Yeah.
A boon.
You're just making shit up.
I'm not making anything up. That's what a boon is.
No.
Something positive.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's so, but like mechanically, it's weird to say it like that. But anyway, gonna fight about it.
Yes.
So, are you planning on going that way? And out of character, to kind of put it, because again, this is feeling kind of just jumbled. Let's kind of put it more of a narrative spin, so you can kind of get more of a vibe for it. You return to Land's End, and you plan on taking a long rest. It's probably closer to evening once you make it back here. You go to the tavern, you all find a table, sit down, order food and drink, which is procured for you. This is after dropping William off at his parents. And you sit down and you're talking about plans. Hezrod has a piece of paper, drawing charcoal, telling his a brilliant plan to fight two dragons at once.
No, it's very Hezrod.
I mean, that's
It is
fair.
very Hezrod.
And the rest of you are kind of sitting and sipping. But yeah, just role play amongst yourselves like that.
So, what I want to do, I want to ride the red dragon up into the sky, right? Screaming, ah!
Shows the picture. circling the fireworks flying.
Just like, it looks like a little lizard that has like a little like fire coming out of its mouth, and Hezrod's like on the back, like looking buff as hell with like an axe in his hand. Like literally, it's like a terrible drawing of like a Hezrod, but the arms are gigantic.
Grok.
It's like a child's drawing.
I think we need to get Grok and Hezrod on two different teams for Pictionary. Dope.
So he's like,
anyways.
And then he'll take us to the other dragon, right? And then we'll fight that dragon, but also the other dragon at the same time. But they'll be fighting each other, right? You understand?
So as you're talking, the food comes out. The lady who serves it out to you, some of you would recognize as Blair. Some of you who haven't been to the town are just meeting her for the first time. She looks, older. Definitely a House Sereda kind of person. She looks like she's very venerable and combat worthy. And she's setting the food out to you in your new cups. And she says, "Did you already talk to the Curios?" Looking over to Golradir mainly.
Not today. Should we?
word about town is that you were able to save all those kids. So
Oh,
yeah.
yes.
I suppose you should probably talk to him and let him know, or maybe see if he's got anything to, reward you. Food and drinks on me for the rest of the night. Whatever you like, whatever we can, spare and suffice. And she then pulls out from her apron and sets out a bottle of fine elvish wine. You'll notice that it's winter elf vintage. It looks like it might be from around here. And she says, I found this in the town. But I believe there's more bottles like this in the house that is over on the north side of town.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
You folks enjoy the rest of your food. If you need anything, just give me a wave, okay? And
Absolutely.
pleasure to meet you, ma'am. Looks to Malika and looks over to Alton. You as well, sir. And she heads over back to the bar. And yeah.
So, before we leave, is this where I take that ring and get my bounty?
No. So let me give you kind of an idea of where we're looking at, just because I think you haven't had kind of a physical display of the kind of locations or locales. You are currently in Land's End, which if you look on the map, you should see a token. It looks like Avran.
Yep.
Huzzah. Knock is the city of import here. Now, when you're thinking city, you're probably thinking, oh, it's probably something like Waterdeep or something. No, that's not exactly the scale we're talking about here. Knock has skyscraping towers and buildings that rise up from the ground level. It's got a completely white wall of marble that encircles it. It has sky rails, and it has trolley systems. It has auto carriages that move about the town. This is a very progressive and technologically advanced city. And you, being a member of House Mardigan, are very intimately familiar with the city and its goings on. Out of character, kind of mentally, think of it as like a Midgar kind of situation compared to the rest of the world of Final Fantasy, which is like nothingness.
So, is there like any rogues guilds here that are tied to mine where I can?
What you would know is House Sereda is the only operating body in this town. This town is not a fully functioning town. It's a town that was basically broken up and destroyed that House Sereda is trying to restore and make into a fortification town to help defend against the things to the west. West of here is known as the Hellish West, or the Hellish Marches, or just the West Marches, and it's basically a absolutely crazy wildlands where creatures will mob up and like form forces and try and take over the lands beyond. And House Sereda is the main force that stops that from happening.
Can I send a raven to my house saying?
Ravens aren't a thing. Yeah, unless you're in the city, you can't drop anything for the Mardigans. You have to.
Okay.
You have to get there.
Gotcha. Okay. I didn't know
We'll
if I
get
could send
there.
a raven
Yeah,
or an owl. Can I send an owl?
it's not a thing.
Game of Thrones, Harry Potter.
A pigeon?
A pigeon? A homing
send-
pigeon?
If you have a sending
Sounds an
stone,
owlin.
you can contact. If you have a long range call stone, you can also make calls with it to people. You have neither of these things, I believe.
You could send a messenger boy.
If you have
No,
someone
I
who
don't.
cast sending, and they're familiar with the person you're sending the message to, there's options, but none of them are things that you would have. Getting there and dropping it
Nah.
off is the way you'd go.
Got it. The finger's still in my backpack. Nobody's touched it.
It's
so-
not like it's gonna go bad or anything.
Yeah.
The ring, I mean, the
It's-
finger will,
Well, I take the finger,
and discard
tip
it.
the ring up the finger, and toss
Yeah.
the finger inside a trash can.
That's fair.
I don't want to.
Could
I
just
don't wanna
toss it
suck
into the
together.
fire.
Yeah, that works too. But yeah, so I just want to make sure I understand correctly, because you and I had a great conversation, but that's boring to me. So, I mean, we now have an idea of where you're at though mentally. So I don't mean boring in a negative way. I just mean it's mostly just lore dumping. So now you have an idea of how Alton wants to operate. So tell the party, like, you want to go to Knock. Knock is where you need to go. They're talking about fighting some sort of dragon.
So we need to go to Knock anyways, correct?
Yes.
So I say we go to Knock, finish up, try to finish up this roundabout where these hags where they were tied up and everything, and then we come back and watch two dragons duke it out.
Can we sell tickets?
We can, as long as Hezrod is okay with this.
The thing about that, or the problem with that, is that we would, if we were to go to Knock first, that would be a long ways away, and I think by that time the dragon situation will have resolved itself.
Or escalated.
Or escalated, yes.
So was there a time frame for this bounty
No.
of mine?
Nor is there one for the dragons.
So, but I did say that I needed help with this bounty. I would help them if they helped me in a previous game.
Again, just role play that out. Like, Hezrod.
Well, yes, I
Yeah.
said, hey,
Yeah.
we need to do this. I said I'd help you guys, but I'm all for dragon killing. So,
Good.
but I say let's go to Knock, figure out where our loose ends are, and stab people in the face, and find out why these sea hags were being birthed, held against their will. I'm kind of curious on this one.
Fair enough.
I'm throwing into a royal.
Go ahead, Tizo.
I will say I have a strong interest in countering whatever evil is afoot related to this cult. If we can do, I'm just joining y'all. I really thought that was your thing, was going after this particular cult. If we have opportunity to do that, be it here or in Nauk, I would be glad to participate.
Gain inspiration for how you say knock.
Nauk?
No.
Fucking
No.
That's
I
fucking
love it.
amazing. It's
I can
fucking
get some
amazing.
more.
I already have inspiration. Can I gift it?
You gift it to someone else, yeah?
Who doesn't have inspiration? Okay, you can have it, Brian.
I say we go
Yeah,
to
he
Knock.
gets
You know,
Not as good. I try. But nowhere on the same tier.
and we can I can get us some more information from my rogue guild.
Well, Alton, it seems like these dragons are wreaking havoc here. Maybe we just need to take care of business, and then we can travel to Nauk.
Well, I mean, it ends up being a catch-22 because both can do probably about as much damage.
They can't move places. I mean, these dragons are going to be duking it out. If one dies, then we just go kill the other one and take both hordes at the same time. So,
well, that's an interesting point. I just want to kind of fill it in a little bit for you, because I think you're making a sound point, but I don't think they're going to come to the same conclusion. You're basically saying that the dragons are going to fight themselves for a while. The death cult's going to continue murdering people, right?
Yeah.
Are the dragons hurting people around here? Are they causing damage to the community?
If I remember correctly, they are preventing trade routes.
Yeah, they're I'm presuming their kobold servants killed a patrol.
Yes.
So it's another like 6 to half dozen. Like they're the same, but different.
That is true. But
like they're both killing people, but which is worse,
So, one end, there could be more monstrosity sea hag creatures being born. On the other hand, dragons and kobolds are killing patrol routes, killing this town essentially.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't know what the kobold or the sea hags are birthing.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we do need to find out what they're
Yeah.
birthing.
And the
by
info
dragons
that
or
we
dragon.
need is probably going to be in Nock. And Fiona has access to the libraries. So we could find out more information there, and then you have ties to the Rogues Guild there. So we can get more information there from other people at the guild.
So basically, if we
then-
want more information and to do some research and digging, we should go to Nock.
Yeah.
Which I'm not opposed to that because Hezrod knows this cult is associated with the Lady of the Deep, and he's all for doing anything that's gonna inconvenience or hurt whatever
Yeah.
she's got planning.
So which does Hezrod care about more? Getting revenge on Lady of the Deep or killing a dragon?
If you phrase it that way, which I'm assuming Golradir would,
Yeah.
he looks legitimately distressed. Like he's wrestling with a very tough decision.
It
I'm
is
trying to
tough.
picture Fiona
It's like-
in the back
it's
of my
like
head.
asking-
Slides him a new pint of beer if you need it.
Right. It's like asking a little kid. It's like, do you want to go see monster trucks or do you want cake?
Yeah. Do
Those
you
are
want to go
both
see
pretty
monster
rad.
trucks,
Those are
or do you
both-
want
Right.
cake, or do you want to go to the zoo?
Right. It's like you can have cake now, or we can go see monster trucks on Saturday.
Yeah.
So that would I don't think I've ever done this before, but could you make me a persuasion check?
No, we don't do that. We don't
Okay.
we don't
I just-
roll
I can do a
against,
deception.
Who's
I'm
trying
literally-
to persuade who?
No.
roll against players.
Hezrod's being persuaded. He's sitting on the fence, like.
Yeah.
But probably ultimately he probably would lean in favor of like.
We could
mess-
also probably
messing
get
up
you
the
a
Lady of the
nice
Deep.
new shiny something in Nock that inflicts worse damage.
I can still use something
I
and
mean-
knock.
Hezrod has a shiny nothing. Like all his stuff is like covered in dirt and like old blood. Like
Well,
all
he
kinds
means
of stuff.
I start cleaning off his,
something that
his
you can
armor.
kill things with.
He's pretty
Walker's
happy
pretty
with
good.
his axe.
Yeah.
I start
It's pretty awesome.
polishing Hezrod's axe.
No, stop it. No, stop it.
I like the patina.
You can also, if you have damaged items, get them repaired and knock.
Yeah.
That's also true. Okay. Yeah, he's gonna lean in favor of tracking down some cultists and messing them up. He's much more inclined to rain hell on them than
Yeah,
fuck with
and
some dragons.
As Zizo is well aware, you can also have awesome tea parties in knock.
Tea
That is
party is
true.
pretty fun.
And
Anyway.
then we could take the after that we can go back to the dragons
Have a tea party with the dragon. I see where you're
and have a tea party with the dragon and take both sets of gold for their hordes. Thrilling it.
Fiona seems to be in favor of whatever the majority of the group is selecting. It looks like Alton, Hezrod, and Golradir are kind of. Oh, I'm sorry. And also everyone besides Avran's weighed in, but it looks like he's okay. He's back. So
Everyone, we're going to knock.
Avran, we're going to knock.
Yeah, no. With the information that was given, yeah, he would agree that knock is probably the best choice, rather than just going blind with
Okay.
some dragons.
If you wait in the tavern, kind of finishing up your meal, eventually the lord of the town, the Kyrios of the town, will kind of enter into the tavern and move over to your table, kind of say, "If I'm not intruding, do you mind if I sit with you?"
Oh, join us, of course.
Please.
Would you like a glass of wine?
No, I'm a teetotaler. Sorry, don't partake.
I'm drinking milk.
What?
I'm
He's
drinking milk.
Oh,
gotta
Drinking
drink your
milk.
milk for those strong bones, and so you grow real
I also
big.
don't drink milk because it makes me very sleepy, and that's how they get me onto airplanes.
Jesus.
He says, so I understand it that you were able to rescue the children and deal with the matter of the strangers in very odd armor. We had heard reports that the patrols were found. Unfortunately, they were their items were taken from them, and matter as it stands leaves just one task that we really have necessarily done to be handled: the dragons. And I understand it's a bit of a tall order that our priestess is putting upon you, and the services that you have provided us thus far have been absolutely favorable to the town and our prosperity here. I promised you at the beginning and the onset that if you did these deeds for us, I would promise you the deed to the house on the north side of town. And from his robes, he quickly posits a parchment, and you hear kind of a jangle as it hits the table. You can see that the keys are inside of the parchment.
Oh, this is very generous.
You've been most kind to us. I know that 3 of our youth would not be present if it weren't for your deeds. And I believe that service is something I can't weigh the cost of. It's immeasurable. So for that alone, I grant you this. But I also heard that you went to the north and cleared out the old stones.
Yes.
And I also understand it that you, from reports of what William's parents are saying, you killed all of these cultists and some nasty monsters that were about. So, again, you've more than earned a place here amongst our community. I would also
Hezrod, sorry.
Uh,
Hezrod says through a mouthful of food, and he points in the general direction of like where they fought the Sahagin. And he says,
If you go there now, their heads are probably still there.
I also heard from Layla's point that there was a great freeing of the people that were present. They have moved closer to our community and trade, and I believe we have plans for the old shark den in the near future. That said, I do also want to make sure you understand that you're not only welcome in this town. And he pulls out a what appears to be kind of like a badge or talisman and sets it out on the table. As it kind of lays there, some of you who are not familiar or have lived in the city would notice it is the markings of House Sereda. To the rest of you, basically what's being put on offer here appears to be some sort of token that shows kind of ornamental kind of icon of a crab. Yeah.
Would you all mind if I hold on to this?
Go for it. Don't lose it.
No,
It's kind of like
may,
a hermit
Yeah.
crab.
it may help me.
Look how cute.
It may help me in answering some of my questions when we get back to Naka.
Yeah.
Of course.
So, if you are taking,
Do I know anything about this crabby hermit crab thing?
it's one of the 10 houses of the city of Nock. It's the house that deals mainly with the defense of the city of Nock and
Yeah.
the surrounding environs.
Are they warring with my house?
No, the Mardigan family is not a house, actually.
Okay.
It's just a gang. So they're not one of the 10.
Okay.
The Mardigans are kind of off the grid in a lot of regards, but they function very much similarly to kind of like the mafia of old, like the Italian mafia of old, in that they are they don't like dealing with things that harm people. They mainly just kind of focus on protection, rackets and stuff like that. Nothing that's like terribly harmful, but they also do have killing for hire and stuff. They don't do like drug trade. They don't do like
Gotcha.
trafficking or anything. They're basically thieves with hearts of gold.
I'm Robin Hood.
But yeah, if you're taking that icon, that would mark you as a recruit of House Sereda. So you'll see that there's a renown chart for it. And as you gain renown in House Sereda, you will slowly gain more access to other things inside of that faction.
So does that apply to only one of us or all of us?
Just the one. If any of you continue acting as if you were a recruit in league with him, then yeah, you'll gain the same access and possibly a token of your own.
Interesting.
The renoun's is mainly for anyone who's kind of adhering to it, but if everyone's adhering to it, then it's everyone.
Fair.
Okay.
And it shouldn't say Boros Kieran, it should say Serena Kieran. Terrible.
Yeah, I was gonna point that out to you. I just didn't know how.
Thanks.
Okay.
But if that gives you any idea as to what faction they may be like.
Good to know. Good to know. Good to know.
Everyone's gonna take it and he's going to
Oh my god.
look up at the individual. Do you know of any house by the name of Normac?
No, there are only 10 houses in Nock. There might be a family that might have that name. It just doesn't sound familiar to me.
Thank you.
Of course, you should be able to find more information about it in Nock. The Alistair libraries are filled with repositories of old houses in New. Or old families in New.
John, what would be quicker? The boat? Like, could we take a boat down towards Nock?
So, if you are discussing that and kind of getting more local kind of opinions on the matter, there are a couple of ways that you can go about it. You could take a boat through the Blackavon Lake down to the Hariv Enclave on the south side of the lake, and then make your way through Siffords Pass.
Yeah.
You could take the same boat out through the divide to the north, out and around Mount Silverfang to the Styes on the eastern side of Nock, and then make your way into the city proper. You could walk and make your way to what the folks in the town are referring to as what are you doing? Glassfire, which is this kind of well, it's not pinging for you, but this kind of location here. And
This one.
yep, then make your way through the mountains, up past Dunwater, and then down onto the main road through to Nock. These are your options, and that's pretty much it.
I believe it would take a little longer, but I feel like our safest route would be to go over or around Mount Silverfang.
Yeah, you could also
To
port
go-
in Manus, pick up your carriage, and then head on back
That is
through
true.
Onama.
My
Oh, yes.
clothing.
that is the pro play.
Okay, so if you are attempting to basically hire Jareth on for that travel, let's see, 1, 2, 3,
Flash your
4,
badge. Flash your badge.
5, 6, 7, 8,
I
9,
flash
10,
my
11,
pad. I don't
12,
think
13,
it'll help,
14, 15,
but yeah.
16, 17, 18, 19. It'll take 19 hexes to get to Manus, which is 4 days.
Okay.
If you're wishing to do that, he's telling you that he's going to have to charge you because you're taking him away from fishing duties. And he's going to charge you 25 gold pieces per day. Because there's
So that's
no,
8
sorry,
days total.
There's 6 of
round
you.
trip.
Sorry, 30 gold pieces per day to get you and your lot to Manus, and that's it.
And it'll take 6 days, you said?
It'll take
4
4
days.
days.
4 days. Okay.
So is
There was
that
a
round
lot of
trip
numbers
for him?
being thrown out.
Yeah, it's 19 hexes, 30 gold per day, 4-day total.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's about 5
120
hexes
gold.
per day.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
120
This is
gold.
all. Yeah, this is through the water.
Yeah.
Okay.
We check our
And that's-
pockets and realize that Eric took our gold.
That son of a bitch! No.
No, I was the treasurer.
Yeah,
Right.
no, that was the joke.
Cornier is the one who got the money.
Before we leave, we should definitely like pilfer that elven wine out of the house we just got.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
If you go over to the house and open it up, like I said, the main level is fine. The top level is broken out, and the basement appears to be fine. When you open up the basement and go inside, you'll note that there is a massive wall just covered with bottles of wine, kind of slotted into kind of wood slots. If you had to venture a guess, there's probably about like 200 gold pieces worth of gold or wine just sitting here. That's at like $2 a bottle or 2 gold a bottle. Yeah. There are 3 massive barrels. When you test the taps and check them, the beer inside is spoiled.
Purify.
Yeah, we should take
Purify
one of those
would work.
Yeah.
If you do want to rectify the beer inside. The other thing you'll notice is on the far wall, away from where you kind of descend down into the basement, there's kind of a strange ornamentation on the wall. It appears to be a stone archway, like a door, but with no door set inside of it.
Oh no, not another one of
Magic.
these.
Fiona!
She would inspect it and say, it appears, and just, again, she's trained in Arcana, so she'd kind of have an idea. She'd say, this appears to be a key gate? I don't know the word, so I wouldn't know what to say here to be able to transport through this.
What's the language?
Well, there's no markings on it.
I take a feather duster.
There's no markings on it. But she will tell you that the stone is definitely kind of magical. And kind of looking at it, she says, based on everything here, it must be somewhere underneath the Blackavon Lake.
Interesting.
We'll come back to this.
Could everyone try the badge, the Sarita badge, see if anything happens? No? Okay.
As is the normal process of, you're just kind of, and nothing happens.
So, real quick.
I need to get 2 metal toys so I can just slap them together.
So the wine is elvish, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. Is it Harib as well?
For the most part. There's
fine.
3 bottles as well, and you'll also notice that there's a stockpile of a winery that you've never heard of, but it's called the Wizard of Winery. There's about
my god
8 bottles of it.
Nice.
We'll take one of those. We'll take one of those for the trip.
Okay.
It's our house. We can take as much as we want.
No, well, I mean, it's. I'm sure. You know what? Hezrod's gonna take one of those barrels.
Do you want to invest?
Jordan can grab as much wine as she wants.
Do you want to kind of investigate and search through like the basement here, since you're kind of like looking around? Okay, great.
Yeah.
I would like for you to pick a representative of the party, and that individual will make an investigation check. If you want it to be Fiona in this instance, I will roll for her.
I have a 9 in investigation.
I think you and me are tied.
Could I do survival?
No, you're better. You do it.
No.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
It's all on you.
Okay. So as you're kind of searching around, everyone's kind of paying attention. You're kind of focusing on the situation, but you very quickly realize that the setup here is not too dissimilar from kind of Mardigan holds or safe houses. And what you realize is that one of these barrels of ale is only half full, and the back end has a door on the side that you can open. And when you open it and look inside, you see about 6 small bags that you can tell are filled with coin.
I found this.
Yep.
I found some loot.
When you pull the bags out, you see the markings of the Mardigan family. A hand holding a coin with a knife through it.
Oh, fuck.
These are from my guild.
Your guild. So you pick up the bags, and if you kind of count and check everything that's inside of it, each one of the bags holds 250 gold pieces. There are 6 bags.
Oh, shit.
I'm assuming we're not allowed to take this?
Do what you want.
So 1 bag for each of us?
So you would know that this appears to be marked as a safe house. So this money is for the purposes of acquisition and utilization. But based on the dust that's on it, no one even knows that this is here.
Well, we've acquired it, and now we can utilize it.
That's 100%.
However, I do caution them, saying this belongs to House Mardigan, or not House Mardigan. This belongs to my guild, and if they find their gold on anyone else,
Fiona looks at you and says, "Oh, watch." She pours the money out of the bag into
Yeah.
her bag.
that's
Yeah,
what I was
Throws-
that's
getting
what
at.
everyone was gonna say too.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
won't tell him if you won't.
I'm not going to tell him it's free gold.
I will add 250 gold to my sack.
So, you said that thing on the wall was called a keystone?
Keygate.
Keygate.
Yeah.
Does it function like a portal?
It does, but it has a command word that has to be spoken for it to open.
Okay, and we know that it leads to a location on the Black Avon Lake?
Either in the Black Avon Lake or on the other side of it or somewhere around
Okay.
it, yeah.
Chad, because Hezrod doesn't care about this stuff, but Chad...
Just to
would-
help, I see you mugging. Maybe
What?
maybe this will help. Not you. I'm talking to two people in this group.
Oh, okay.
Just to help.
Sorry. Jesus.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, we know.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
What's going on? What
Or
I
at
do?
least
Nothing.
I know. I think Zizo knows though.
I assumed the triggered
Yeah.
statement was.
Oh, right.
I'm
So,
not trying
anyways.
to give away information.
This was
Well,
a character
I'm-
cross test.
I'm presuming that the what was it called? The portal gate? The
Key
gate?
gate.
Key gate.
Key
I'm
gate.
presuming the
Stargate.
key gate. The key gate leads to the enclave on the other side of the lake.
Could do, yeah.
There's also only two of us that, if it were to go into the water, that could survive that.
Who would that be? the other one?
Hezrod and Avran.
How could Avran survive in the water?
He doesn't
Magic.
need to breathe.
You're Avran.
I'm Avran.
Yeah, I didn't know that Avran doesn't need to breathe.
Is Avran dead?
Something like that.
That's good to know, I guess.
Did that any of that happen in character?
I don't
Nope.
know.
No.
Oh, okay.
That was
No, that
Jonah
was all.
telling Chad.
Yeah, but that's good to know. This whole time, Hezrod's been like, "Damn, Avran can really like hold his breath for like a really long time."
And he still can.
He just sits at the bottom of
Yeah,
the
he's
lake.
like, "Are you still holding your breath?
Yep.
You know we're on land. We're on land, right? You can breathe now."
Yes, indeed.
So 250 gold.
I have a mouth, but I can't
Are
breathe.
we're each adding that to our character sheet individually, correct? Okay.
Yeah, it's easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna add it to party stores then.
No,
250 apiece.
right.
I'll
And
add it
then,
to Fiona.
You're welcome, Fiona.
Yeah, grab as much wine as you want for the trip. Hezrod's taking one of these barrels of beer with him. He's gonna purify it on the way.
Everyone's gonna take 2 bottles of the wizardly wine.
The Wizard of Winery.
Mhm.
That place. R.I.P.
Other than that, Hezrod's ready to go.
Let's go to knock.
Did we take a long rest already?
Yes.
I'm
You'll
not-
be taking a long rest. Yeah.
Okay.
and leaving in the
We're in
morning.
the
I'm
process.
assuming.
The assumption is that you sleep in your cool tavern, and
Tavern
head out
house.
tavern house, and
Is there bunk beds? Is there bunk beds?
the beds are actually not present, but there is a substantial. It looks like all the furniture has been taken or broken up, and you're able to kind of throw out your bedrolls and sleep under a roof though, so that's not
Put me in
too
your
bad.
pupusa.
Pupusa?
Honey, a pupusa, that's another thing.
Don't do
Pupusa,
it.
I'll
that's
put you
dinner.
I'll
I
put
know
you
that's
in the
dinner.
baby Bjorn. I'll put you in the baby Bjorn.
I take your baby beyond and make a hammock out of it.
Yep.
Okay, so
Avran's tall enough.
you wake the next morning, and Jareth will basically be ready, and you'll start sailing. So this is a situation where you're moving through kind of waters, and we're going to determine effectively like how well you do. Since he is traveling with a small crew as before, you're not going to be straight shotting. They are going to be anchoring down and kind of sleeping throughout the night in a safe area, which will be handled by him. So there's no worries there. And he says he's taken this route before. So that being said, I need a representative for day 1 to roll 5 20-sided dice. random encounters.
Okay.
5 20-sided dice.
Or each of you can roll one.
I want to roll one of them.
Okay, then everybody just roll one. Okay.
Okay. You said D20s?
Uh-huh.
Yes.
I gotta
Remember
find
he
the
said-
thing.
He said low rolls are good.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Damn it, Elizabeth. Damn it.
I'm sorry.
Woo! Yeah, you really, really bunked it up.
You goofed up, son.
Okay. So the first day goes by uneventfully. Yeah, you make it out a good distance away from land. You pass by the glass fire that I mentioned, which appears to be a kind of almost like a small fortified hamlet. Very strange, and there's a massive kind of tower with a massive spine off the top of it that appears to be kind of prismatic glass that kind of catches the light very strangely. As you kind of move away from it, you realize that at night it's still visible, and very clearly so, as it kind of glows in a scintillating color pattern. And it's a very key marker for you, and as is explained by Jarrett, for people who are sailing through this stretch, because it can get very dark in the divide. If you're not wary, you could possibly lose your way. So it's helpful in that. That being said, day 2, go ahead and give me 5 more d20 rolls.
Oh, God.
Did Jareth say what that crazy looking tower was?
He says it's called the glass fire.
Oh, no.
Interesting.
Okay.
Oh, no!
Oh, no.
Chad.
Yeah, so you make it, and you can actually see the ruins of Denier from this place. You haven't been there before, but it does look like a massive ruins of old Osirian kind of tradition. It looks like it might have been... is she in here? You can jump in if you want to do the last 30 minutes, Josie. I can...
We're in a boat.
A second. I'm in my car right now, so
Oh.
I'll jump in.
Okay.
She's just listening.
No worries, Ben. Sorry. Moving on then. So you can see the ruins of Denier kind of from where you're at. You haven't been there before, as if you remember, the Broken Temple kind of swept you away from where you were. But you can see the ruins from the coast, on the coast rather. They're not too dissimilar from the Broken Temple, except that it looks like there's more structurally sound kind of portions of this temple, but it too looks like it was kind of cleft from stone and made in kind of like the Osirian tradition. Fiona would probably be going on at length about what she knows about the kind of stylings here. It's kind of a mix of the old, basically the people who lived in these lands before they were attacked by the Svirks, and before they allied and became one with the what is now known as the Osirians, but the Aeten people from Parnak. And the stonesmithing here was kind of a boon that they were granted by dwarves to the west, the Grey Swords. But yeah, day 2 goes by uneventfully. The night is quiet and undisturbed. Day 2 done.
Yes.
Day 3, right?
Yep.
Okay. Go ahead and give me 5 more rolls. Ooh.
Yes.
Ooh.
Yes!
All right.
2 nat ones, baby!
It's really fun. As you're moving, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. As you're moving, during the early morning and kind of mid-morning, you see 2 streaks of light coming from the heavens, and it's a bit foggy, but you see them at different hours. They're both well outside of your ability to kind of operate, kind of get to, but what you'll notice is that they're both relatively close to one another. It looks like one strikes to the west of where the Broken Temple is located, and one strikes to the east of where the Broken Temple is located. They appear to be stars from heaven that have just fallen during the daylight, streaking kind of yellowish red as they slammed into the earth. There's nowhere for you to kind of make to shore, as most of the mountain here, as you remember, is kind of cliff face. So kind of getting up to that point would be very difficult. But they're points of interest, which I will mark with X's here in a moment, that you might want to investigate if you ever come up way on land again.
Nice.
Excellent.
And yeah, you're just around the bend. It's explained to you. Jared says that tomorrow, probably about mid-afternoon, you should arrive in Manus. I need 4 more d20 rolls.
I'll do one.
I'll sit this one out. You guys go ahead.
Oh no!
We're doing great.
Oh.
We're doing great.
Oh.
So yeah, day goes by uneventfully. It's a bit foggy once you arrive in Manus. The fog seems to have kind of swept down from the Silverfangs, or Silverfang Mountain, and is kind of holding over there. The creepiest portion of this is as you're kind of moving into dock with Manus, you can see the shadow of Argenti in the mountains, kind of just looming there, high up in the mountain.
Yes.
Argenti being that strange town you went to that one time. Which, if I remember correctly, you did find out its residents are all...
Like
Everybody but Hezrod did.
Okay.
They were, yeah.
Yeah,
They were
that's-
And he starts-
All of their
like-
people are werewolves, yes.
As
Yeah.
as they're like
Like in
cruising by and
purpose.
they can see like the shadow of the town up at the top of the mountain, Hezrod like pats Alton on the shoulder and points and starts telling about like the epic rager he had with the dwarves.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
oh,
and the
yeah,
one that turned into a bear.
there was a bear. Oh, I was drinking with a bear.
A werebear, indeed.
Yeah, it was a great time. Best party I've ever had.
We should go back.
We should
Can I have
most
another
definitely.
sippy cup, please?
What's that?
Can have as
I
many
said-
sippy cups as you want, little buddy.
Yeah.
You make it back to Manus,
Please, sire?
which I have somewhere in here. Here we go.
A sippy cup?
No,
Yeah,
no,
you're gonna
no.
pay your stable fees, and they're gonna be like, yeah, that'll be like 2,000 gold.
Oh man, get that out of there. And yeah,
Gross.
you arrive in the port, and your boat is, of a size that it can fit in the kind of docking space. You see a couple of folks kind of pop out present and kind of, see your ship arriving. A bit confused, but they, start mooring the ship and, tying it down. And yeah, what would you like to do once you arrive in Manus? You can also see that the stable, not too far from here, adjacent to the tavern, appears to have a carriage sitting in it.
Yes.
My clothes.
I'm gonna go check my carriage.
The horses,
Actually,
the horses
I'm gonna
would
go-
not be present.
I'm gonna
That's
go check
fine.
my beer.
can I go check on Injustice Fighter?
Okay,
Ooh.
so we'll
Nice.
we'll start with we're gonna start with the new people first, and then we'll move through
course.
the others. So Alton, you're just getting into town. Do you want to pair off with somebody and kind of stick with them, or do you want to go and do your own thing?
I guess I'll explore with the other new guy.
Okay.
So, and see what he's up to.
Well, Malika, we'll go to her then. What are you doing?
Malika, are we staying here for a day, or are we? Like,
mean,
what
there's-
time is it that we're arriving?
I'd say about mid-afternoon, somewhere around 3 or 4.
Okay, so Malika would, I guess, see if there's any pregnancies in the town, any women that need a midwife or a cut wife.
What you'll learn quickly is the town seems to be more elderly folk. There does
Okay.
appear to be a smaller number, and they explain to you, like you learn over time, that not too long ago there was a plague that kind of swept through here, and thanks to the graces of Hezrod and Golradir, the plague was stopped in its tracks, and they kind
And
of...
Abram.
Oh, and also Abran, right? Basically, Team Holy Rollers ran in here and started throwing, get rid of disease, you don't have it, or yeah, then they just saved the town. Great times were had by all, and yeah. But they do seem to, have minor kind of medical maladies that you're able to kind of help with, but nothing, unfortunately, nothing towards your specialty. And
Okay.
they're absolutely receptive of any kind of, healing assistance that's on offer.
Yeah, I mean, I would. I'm not like a super brilliant like medicine woman or anything, but I do have my herbalism kit. So if folks need a little bit of support, I'm willing and able.
Yeah, some of them might even know concoctions that they'd be interested in, so that's absolutely fine. And Fiona kind of will stick with Hezrod just to make sure that he doesn't do anything untoward or anything crazy.
Wait, who's sticking with Hezrod?
Fiona.
Of course.
Now,
That's her buddy.
Who was saying something about meeting up with Injustice Spider? Avran?
Me. Yes.
Oh, hold on, before we move on, I did want to say that Malika would introduce Alton as her apprentice.
Okay.
That's fair.
And you would see that Avran seems to be on a mission, kind of heading to the northern portion of town. And Gordier, where are you heading?
To get my clothes.
Okay. On the carriage. Okay. Yeah. If you go over to it, you open it up and you kind of shuffle through the clothing, and at the bottom, the 3 bottles of wine you kind of set inside of the chest are still in there, perfectly packaged. Sweat drops.
Nice.
Oh.
Was my crossbow
My
still in
clothes?
there?
Yeah, everything that you had on the carriage is still on the carriage.
Fuck yeah,
The
dude.
horses, like I said, aren't present. But if you ask the
Yes.
stable hand Goldier where the horses are, they say that they're basically being allowed to run free during this time. They'll be brought back in before
Oh,
sunset.
yeah.
Yeah, you can't have
They
horses.
deserve a nice little run.
Can't have
They
horses
do.
just sitting in a stable all the time.
After all the
know.
shit they've been through, they definitely do.
They've been having a great time while you were gone.
Oh,
Good.
yay.
And I
That's
think
good to know.
did I kill one of them?
No.
You almost did.
Almost did.
Yeah, you almost did. You killed
Yes.
one
Well-
of the ones that we
The old one.
took from the
That's right.
city that was
That's right.
supposed to be the zombie town.
Yeah, you killed it with.
Where would you like to go?
First thing he's gonna do is check on his beer.
Yeah.
Check
Like,
that beer.
I think there was a full keg of beer still on the
Still on the carriage.
Mm-hmm.
Is it still good?
Yeah. It's only
What do you
been a
drink?
couple. It's only been like 6 days, maybe a little over.
Nice.
He drinks some.
Okay. Yeah, it's fine. And you'd also notice that not too far from the stables, kind of parked alongside the tavern, is an auto carriage. The auto carriage that you're looking at, Gordier and Hezrod, appears to be very familiar in that it looks identical to the one that you found outside of the ruined temple.
Is Fiona watching?
Nope. Fiona's with you, but not paying attention to that.
He's gonna go check it out, and if nobody's in it, he's gonna kind of climb into the driver's seat.
Doors are locked.
He climbs into the driver's seat.
Doors are still locked.
Okay.
Doors
Sorry, I
are
said
locked.
Doors unlocked.
Doors are absolutely locked. But based on his presence here, your presumption is that whoever the driver is inside of the building.
Yeah.
Fiona!
I can't
He
talk.
like points at
I'm
it.
driving.
Well, I'm
She
just,
unmuted
for
though. I
flavor,
saw her do it. I thought she was
Yeah.
gonna actually yell at you.
for flavor's sake. For flavor's sake.
Okay.
He's like, it's these guys.
She notes, and she's kind of confused, I assume, based on the fact that you haven't been here in a long time, and they were just up the way. So, who knows what they were doing and why they've been out here so long? But yeah, moving to the really important and interesting and absolutely the best part of what we were talking about, Avran goes up to the shrine of Ashtar and enters inside. You see 2 individuals sitting there talking. One of them is holding a pipe. And is a halfling. He is wearing like just a bunch of greenery and looks like he's just kind of having a good time, smiling, nodding. If you've ever hung out with Zach F in the Discord or seen him role play, the absolute just like chill, really chill halfling. And the person that this halfling is speaking to happens to be Injustice
My
Fighter,
buddy.
aka Bapidol. And you see him turn and goes, "Oh, Avran, welcome back. You make it back to Menace with seemingly no problems or no cuts upon your person."
Now,
What
is he saying this in common or celestial?
Oh, common, because Finkus is here.
Okay, fair.
He says, "Where did you disappear to? Up in the mountains in Silver Bay?"
it's a bit of a long story, but I'm assuming we have
Plenty of
enough
time to talk, of course. Finkus was just telling me about how he and the druids within his circle were able to deal with a problem around where they were residing. And he's it's an okay story, Finkus, but it's a little bit boring. I mean, I'm sure that it's not every day that you see a creature born of negative energy ripped out of the woods of a dryad's tree, but fair enough. It was something that we did seek out when we were traveling together, me and Avran, as I told you.
Indeed, it was quite the sight.
Did you come back for your training?
Well, that and I got this, and I pull out the bottle of wine, at least one of them, and maybe we could share this and trade stories.
Fingus goes, yeah, sounds great, actually. I'm a bit dry mouth right now. If you'd like to take a hit before I put it out.
Oh no, please share amongst yourselves.
No, he's gesturing with the pipe, like to offer you some smoke.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
That's perfectly acceptable.
You take a puff from it, and it's very sweet. And it's very just invigorating. Like it's good stuff. And
nice.
He then cashes it out, and you pour the wine. It seems that Finkus just creates cups from thin air, or pulls them from a bag from somewhere. And there's earthen cups, but enough. Large enough to hold a complimentary amount of wine.
Yeah. Avern would then take out the sack, or a sack of gold, the 250. And he'll pass that along to Injustice Fighter.
Of course. Oh well, I tell you that it is a little late in the day, so we cannot start your training today, but tomorrow first thing.
No, first light tomorrow morning.
Absolutely, we can begin. And we will teach you the punishing stance.
I look forward to it.
Absolutely. You sit and kind of banter with these two for a while, and Finkus,
I tell them everything.
And Finkus tells you about him fighting the
Ooh, she's here.
I don't know if everyone's in the right space, but let's do it.
She lives.
So yeah, where would you have gone? I assume Pezrod. You do see the auto carriage.
Is Fiona in chat? Yes, she is.
Yeah, she's been listening
here.
for a while. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
What would you like to do? We've got about 20 minutes. I'll give you a little bit of the limelight. Perfectly fine. As I know
Hey, amazing. Yeah, like you said, I caught that tail end of she's shadowing Hezrod after what just transpired. For sure. She's just keeping her eye on him, and also she's keeping tabs on Avran. She doesn't really trust him.
Well, Avran dipped off to go speak with Baffadil, so do you want to...
She might try to convince Hezrod to go that way with her after.
Okay. So after kind of seeing the auto carriage, making sure that all the stuff on your carriage is fine, do you want to go then, Hezrod, to go to the Shrine of Ashtar?
If she asks him, he says, wait, and he runs back to the carriage and tops off his beer and says, oh, okay, let's go.
You cross the bridge. About this point, you would actually see Malika and Alton kind of coming back from the eastern side of the town after having kind of helped with some folks around the shrine on the isles to the south there. And so you can kind of regroup with them if you'd like, or keep separate.
I'm going to move off to Hezrod.
Okay.
Because the midwife stuff is boring for me. Not gonna lie, I'm gonna go do some gangster shit.
This guy's fun. Shit tends to explode around him.
Upon learning that Malika is a midwife, Fiona's gonna look at her very inquisitively, and kind of mentally think about how many midwives she knows that use eldritch magic.
We did a lot of cool stuff for these elderly people.
Now, the headband seems to click another thought into place. It's how many midwives do I know? And then you're counting them. And you're like, Malika, that's the one. That's the one.
exactly all of them use Eldritch magic.
100%
Every
of the
midwife I've ever met.
Every midwife I
10 out
know.
of 10 midwives agree.
Warlock magic is right for me. So
Does Seymour have any thoughts on the midwife?
no, like but literally, if you're thinking about it and kind of like suspicion, like you're also like, but Malika's really cool, and then Seymour's like, yeah, she is.
Yeah, just kind of like does a mental high five. Just like,
You head into the shrine. Hezrod, Fiona, Malika, do you go with them now as well? Okay. So the lot of you kind of enter into the
Cancel.
shrine. The shrine is to Ashtar, one of the warring triumvirate, one of the three gods. Ashtar is over good and evil, that dichotomy. Inside, you'd see Avran, who you've met, drinking wine from like a small clay cup. You see the halfling I described a moment ago, and I haven't described Baffadel to the newer players. So he is handsome, very handsome. Did I mention that he's handsome?
It's so handsome.
And he's a Frenchman.
And he has a French accent, sure. Let's see. What? Why?
Oh, bonjour.
I've had a handout for him.
You
Yeah,
did.
you-
What happened?
What's going on here?
I don't know.
He's not in miscellaneous.
Isn't he in Dramatis?
Yeah, he's in Dramatis Personae, but he's not in any of the ones that I have here. That's strange. Anyway, I'll go ahead and throw up a quick one. But yeah, he wears kind of just a simple garb, kind of like a brigand, or not a brigand, like a leather armor with like metal plates underneath. I know the word for that, I just can't remember it right now. Over his right shoulder is the pelt of a displacer beast. The tentacles of which are still kind of lingering on the back of him. It's kind of worn like a sash cape. His hair is kind of just immaculate on the top of his head, brown, but like kind of, it looks like it's messy, but it looks like it's messy on purpose. Yeah, he looks like a very competent gentleman. He has the mustache of a fancy Dan, but he just has kind of like the presence of a holy individual, which Malika, you would note, he actually glows with a bit of kind of presence, the presence of a angel or celestial. He is an Asimar of sorts, and he looks like this.
He is cool AF.
He is pretty rad.
Zaddy.
We could have gotten him a new pelt.
No, you couldn't.
It looks like Doc Holliday. I like it.
Yeah, and if they're explaining his name to you, they will call him Baffadel, but they will say that's not his name. If you speak Celestial, you would know that Baffadel just means injustice fighter in the Celestial tongue. He doesn't have a name. He just goes by injustice fighter because
Title.
it's his title, and he just doesn't have an actual true name, or he doesn't mention it. But yeah, they see you enter in and they go, well, oh, more guests, okay. I didn't know you were bringing everyone, Avran. I thought we were just going to.
I did not either.
Oh, that's fair. If I assume correctly, I'm sure that they thought you might be getting into trouble.
Probably.
Looks over to Fiona with a wink.
He's been like glaring at him since the moment she entered.
He's been fine. Finkus says, yeah, he's actually a riot. Very funny. And Finkus kind of stands up and says to Baffadel, hold on. Walks over, kind of walks straight up to Alton, offers his hand out, and says, Finkus Greenbottle. And you are?
I am Alton, aka Dig.
Ah, Dig. You know, my uncle Gemwich was quite quite the master of the shovel, actually. Very
No.
skillful. What you said? No.
I just put people in the graves. That's all I do.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Oh,
Michael
damn.
Gemwich
You
was
don't
also
dig
pretty good
it?
at that. He was a masterful assassin.
Oh.
Out of character,
Oh.
out of character note, it may not have been explained very well in the halfling handout, but I do want to make sure you understand halfling tradition in the setting. You have a relative. That relative, his name is Gemwich, or her name is Gemwich, or their name is Gemwich. I don't care what it is. You can make it up. That's fine.
It's Gimwish.
There's a Gemwich in your family somewhere, whoever it is. And whatever story is told to you in halfling tradition, the goal is to try and make an analogy to it where your relative Gemwich was better at that. And you try and use it as a telling point.
Gotcha.
So
Gotcha.
basically, Finkus is honoring this tradition by basically acknowledging you as a halfling. He's told you his house name, Greenbottle, and he's basically explaining to you that he thinks you're really cool because the thing that you're doing, Gemwich did better.
I go.
That is cute, Lord.
I just come back to me.
Okay, that's fine. So Finkus
I gotta think of something.
Finkus and Elton go through this halfling talk. They're probably doing it in halfling, so nobody understands what they're saying.
What does halfling sound like?
It sounds like
Actually,
halfling.
so for some odd reason on my character sheet, it doesn't say I know halfling.
You
You're
should
a
know
half
halfling.
elf.
You just know it.
I know, but
You're
I was
halfling,
looking
right?
at it. Yeah,
You just know it.
You know halfling.
it doesn't state it.
Anyway, anywho, Baffinal explains to Fiona and the group that Avran just came here to take up the offer of his training, so he assumes that you'll be in town for a few days.
Mm-mm.
Yoda just casts a glance over to Avran. Oh, will we?
I
Okay.
assumed we
Well,
were.
right. Sure. Well,
Well,
in that case,
well, hold on. Wait. Let me understand correctly. Avran, you aren't going to be staying in Menace. They have somewhere else they want to be.
I
Well,
believe so. Yes.
Lady Fiona, where are you going?
kind of like again sighs deeply. Way too, just exhausted.
We are not.
Well, we are supposed to kill a dragon of some sort.
No.
Two dragon.
No, we were supposed to go to Knock.
There are dragons in Knock? Oh, very interesting, man. Well,
No, not in Knock. The dragon
New
was in Land's End.
well, that's a bit far. If you are going to Knock, though, I am interested in going, perhaps, and maybe staying for a few days. Perhaps if you are going, I can go with you, and I don't think I'll be able to train him much on the road, but once we get to the city, I have a couple of friends that I might be able to borrow a courtyard from, so I can deal with the training there.
Yes, that actually would be perfect.
As I know, you know, I am very skillful with a sword, so if you're traveling on the road, of course you would want me along.
Indeed.
If you
There rolls your
wanted
eyes
to
at
give, so what training does he provide?
So he provides training for. I'm still in the French accent.
For the
He provides
punishing.
training to Avran, who is a paladin. He provides a feature known as a punishing stance, which is a feature that is an addition to the class options.
Well, out of character note, if you wanted to present Mr. Fancy Mustache Man with a gift, I do have an extra wave blade.
I was actually thinking about that.
Wow.
And Hezrod's probably not going to use it because he has this super sweet axe.
Well, you already got him wine. I mean, like, he's already buttered up. Like,
No, I know,
He
but
just
he's just such a
Might be over the
good.
top.
He's just such a good character that I just want to
Just
give him
so
gifts.
hot.
you know what?
Yeah, that too.
You know what? I'm not gonna oppose it, but I will say that the way that the other group is able to hoard so many cool items is because they don't give them to holy swordsmen.
But Avran doesn't he doesn't want to hoard items. He just wants to.
Okay, so if you grant him the weapon, he will take it. But he will say that. Let me see if I can phrase it. I'm not very sure that I would want to use a weapon that is so frail. The weapon that I use at current is quite sturdy. It It has not failed me once. And this one, I feel, kind of flicks the blade. It's a little destructible
It is.
here.
Yes.
Fiona
I
fully works and turns to Avran. Oh, didn't your sword break the last time you used it?
It did.
Right, right. Maybe you should keep that for yourself then.
No,
Well-
I have old reliable here. And I
Gesture
clink
to-
my great sword.
Oh, so you've had another sword since then. That's very interesting. But yes, breaking swords and foolish movements of sword breaking aside, I will be interested in taking this. That is fine. And you actually see something very strange. So the way that you've been carrying the weapon is kind of like parceled like a regular sword. You see him smile as he starts rolling the sword up, and like then latches that to his belt, and you're kind of like.
A new way to hold the great sword.
You very
Or to
quickly realize
holster
that
it.
the wave cutter blades are very easy to kind of compact, and you're kind of thinking, but won't it just stay like that? And then you remember that it is going to snap back into its blade-like position no matter how you bend it.
True. If Ezra does give me what he has, I will do that. I'll roll
Alright.
it and then put it on my back.
Very good.
On my hip.
Okay. Let's see. Anything else that you want to handle in Manus? I don't. Well, yeah, there are actually a couple things if you want to engage in
did
them,
we
but-
deal with the children resolution?
Children.
Yes.
Yeah, that's handled. That's all.
We saved
way
all
past that.
three.
Willy Boy is back with his mummy and daddy.
Yeah, he said that a guy who has the same name as him in Nock said he'd be a great wizard one day.
William.
William the Wise.
Mm-hmm.
Was there an old man in Manus that we were supposed to talk to?
In Manus? No.
Okay. Then I think Fiona's good. She would kind of turn to the others and say, I'd much rather rest in Nock than here, as many of you know, I'm from Nock, so hopefully I'll be able to find us some lodgings.
The only thing that's out of place is the auto carriage.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Quick question,
Which
John.
Gorodir is still over by.
Okay, let's handle
Because they
that.
did not follow.
Go ahead, Chad, with your quick question.
How many handguns did we collect from all those dead guys?
It would have been a total of 6.
Okay.
Yeah.
And if anybody else wants some, they can. But if not, Hezrod's just gonna carry all of them.
Fiona has one.
Yeah,
And she still has it on her. And she's going to identify it to attempt to figure out how to use it better.
It's
That's
not
possible.
magical. The only thing that's really worth noting on it is it says it has the Harrigan logo on it. House Harrigan from Nock.
It's a regular pistol.
Yep, and there's probably about powder and shot for probably about 20 shots total.
Gorodir wants one.
Okay.
Elf with a gun.
So is it 20 rounds?
20 shots, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so Hezrod's carrying 4. I'll say he'll take, I guess, like 4 shots. You guys can split up the other 16. He doesn't know how to use them, but he knows that they go boom.
They do go boom. That is accurate.
So he's like, these are cool.
Golridier, back at the tavern, you're kind of looking over the auto carriage and you realize, it's got dirt on it as if it kind of traveled along the road and kind of made its way here. Probably the same pathway that you walked to get here. And how do you want to investigate it further?
Does it seem like it's moved recently?
No, looks like it's been here for a while.
Okay. And what building did you say it was at?
It's at the tavern and in.
At the tavern. Okay.
Let's just go to the tavern.
Hold on,
into
just
the
go
tavern.
here.
Yeah, because I'm the only one here right
Yeah.
now. Everyone else went to go spy on Avran.
And talk to halflings and be cool.
Yeah.
Give it to me. What are we doing?
Sorry. Going into the tavern.
Okay. You see the barkeep kind of look over to you, Kenneth, and he says, welcome back.
Good to be back. How have things been?
Pretty quiet. I can't get into the room for that fellow whose auto carriage you were looking at. That's been a problem. And we've been watching your stuff. The boy's been making sure that the horses get plenty of sun and plenty of run. Yeah.
What
But
a sweet
they're
boy.
ready. They're ready for the road. They're practically chomping at the bit.
Oh, we're almost ready for them to go back.
Perfect.
Thank you so much for helping keep them. What's the deal with the guy from the carriage?
Yeah, some fellow in strange robes, blue and red, came here not too long after you folks left, and ordered a room. Put a platinum down, so I just assumed I'd keep him, for however long. And well, we kept on. The thing outside is kind of an eyesore. I don't like it. Kind of blocks my view when I'm out, smoking the pipe. And so I knocked on his door a few times, and tried to open the door, but I can't open it. The key doesn't work.
Do you need a master locksmith?
You're not there. Stop it,
You're not
Patty.
there, yeah.
That's right.
Well, I may know of someone who can help us. Would you like
master
me to go
locksmith.
up and check?
You can if you'd like.
Oh, great. Go upstairs, and more approaching this as a, "Are you okay?" Give a little knock and say, "Are you okay in there?"
No response.
Hmm.
If you try the door, it is locked, as was described. Looking at the situation, make a perception check.
Okie doke.
Can you use your magics to open the door?
I don't think that I have one that would do that.
Damn.
Sorry, I didn't have my character sheet up. You said perception?
Mhm.
Great.
Yeah, really good.
Nice.
So you would
Nice.
note that from standing outside, that each of the rooms kind of has like a balcony outside the back,
Mhm.
especially on the second floor where you're at. At the end of the hall, there's kind of a balcony that leads out, and you think that if you can get out onto that balcony, which wouldn't be hard, just walk down the way, you could move across the other balconies to get to the balcony that one is at, and enter in through the balcony door.
Oh.
It wouldn't be terribly strenuous. Like, it's not like, an acrobatic situation or parkour or anything.
Right, more just like climbing over
Yeah, you have to hop
balconies.
over like a railing here and there,
Yeah.
but that's it.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, we could do that.
Okay, you make it to that, and the door is slightly ajar at the room that you're entering into. A couple of people kind of give you odd looks, but they don't really stop you, people who are in the room. You're pretty sure you see an older gentleman, or two older gentlemen kissing in one room, and they're kind of like shocked by you kind of passing them by, and they very quickly close the blinds.
Mostly ignores that.
Yeah, and you kind of enter into the room in question, or move towards the room in question. Like I said, the door's slightly ajar.
Yeah.
And yeah, you open up the door, right?
Yep. And
Entering. Go ahead.
oh, just saying, like, excuse me, are you all right in here? We haven't heard from you for a while.
No response, with the exception of the stench of death. As the door is opened, inside of the room, laying on the bed, is the conglomerate mage that was spared by you, if you recall.
Yeah.
Laying dead on the bed with a knife stabbed right through his chest. Seems like it's gone all the way into the bed, and the bed is completely soaked through with his blood.
Oh, lovely.
The dagger's hilt at the top of it has a symbol of a moon that is pointed down, the star in it.
Not upside down, right?
No, it's
Yeah,
Oh,
so the
that's
way,
It
the
would
way
all
that the
be-
dagger has been settled, the star would be pointing down, and the moon would be pointing down.
yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
And
Called fuckery.
Yeah. So seeing that, go over to the door and unlock it.
yep, call for the guy.
Exit. Yeah. Call for Kenneth.
Okay, he comes up and says, "Oh, fuck."
I'm so sorry.
You would note
I
that the
know
door's lock looked like it was bound with some sort of kind of secondary lock that was keeping it shut, so you had to unfasten it.
Yeah.
Not too dissimilar from the lock that Fiona was seen with, just a little bit more modern, this lock, than the one that Fiona runs around with.
Right.
But yeah, if you kind of bring Kenneth in, Kenneth kind of looks to you and says, "Well, I'll do what I can to get rid of this and hopefully clear this out. You're welcome to help me with that. You seem to have a bit of muscle to you. If you
I
want-
can help.
And anything that, you want here, it's fine. Can you just help me get that carriage out of the way too? Maybe move that.
Yeah, sure. I'm sure his key's somewhere around here.
Yep. Moving and motioning through the stuff, you kind of like help him with the situation. You find inside of the drawer next to the bed a set of effects. Looks like a spell components pouch, and it looks like a set of keys. The keys in question look like there are 3 keys on a ring,
Mm-hmm.
and also attached to the ring is a badge, not too dissimilar from the one that was just earned by Master Avran by House Strata, except this one's marking is blue and yellow with a rose on it, marking it as a member of House Montoulet.
Mm-hmm.
And that is where we'll end the session for tonight. Thanks for watching those that did. And I'm going to close out the stream.
Bye.
Bye.